Summer is past. We're in September now, so all the lucky people that got their air conditioner limped through till winter are for this time of the year for winter fall. Now you're looking at to get it replaced. Best time to call me. Really, really good prices for a furnace or an air conditioner. Common sense approach to what you do need that will heat your home and cool your home without being told that the higher efficiency you go, the more heat you're going to receive or the better cooling you're going to get. It is a myth. It is a fallacy. It is not to be fallen for. Again, if you're looking to get prices, but you made it through summer and you're worried about winter, call me. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
And some Frank's Red Hot.
Nah.
You're just gonna eat these boring nachos with no flavor. Frank it up! Frank it up! This guy finally gets it.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon on 97.1 FM Talk. We're glad that you're here with us right now. So we've got an exciting show for you. There's news out of the Hunter Biden. Remember when Hunter Biden was going to trial in September? Folks, it's September. That just crept up on us so incredibly quickly there. And now that we're in September, yes, that means that big news story is upon us. Can you fit anything more in the things that you feel like you have to track? The good news is you don't have to track them. You could just listen to us. We'll keep you up to date. Fox News reports Hunter Biden plans to change his plea to guilty on federal tax charges brought against him by special counsel David Weiss. His attorney said in court Thursday, shocking federal prosecutors. Abe Lowe, the first son's attorney, said Thursday in federal court that Biden intends to switch his plea and intends to plead guilty. He initially pleaded not guilty. Federal prosecutor Leo Wise said that, quote, this is the first we're hearing about this. So this is new information on the Hunter Biden situation here. Let's listen into a Jonathan Hunt report from Fox News Channel on the subject.
We just got the breaking news that Hunter Biden is indeed changing his plea in this tax evasion case to guilty. We do not know at this point whether this is the result of some sort of plea deal. It would be reasonable to assume that there has been some deal done between the defense and the prosecution to bring about this change in plea to guilty. The question is now, what kind of sentence might he face? There were 9 charges, remember, that he faced here. 3 of those were felony charges, punishable in total by up to 17 years behind bars. So the question will be, going forward, if he is now about to plead guilty, what will the sentence be?
Well, that's a good question. So we will be talking to Hans von Spakovsky here in about 15 minutes from now, and I am looking forward to seeing what he has to say about this. But we're also going to talk to Hans von Spakovsky about the news that came out yesterday regarding good old Russia collusion is back on the scene. The Attorney General, Merrick Garland, talked about it
This morning,
yesterday.
we unsealed an indictment in the Southern District of New York of Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva, two Russian-based employees of RT, a Russian state-controlled media outlet. They are charged with conspiring to commit money laundering and to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act. That law, enacted nearly a century ago, was enacted to ensure that the American people were informed when a foreign power engages in political activities or seeks to influence public discourse. The American people are entitled to know when a foreign power is attempting to exploit our country's free exchange of ideas in order to send around its own propaganda.
You know, anybody who is trying to infiltrate our election system, I want them to be held accountable. Anybody who is trying to put their thumb on the scale in one direction or another, I want to make sure that we hold them accountable. But it seems like there's only one kind of election interference that the Democrats, when they're in charge, that they really hate. And it's just when the Russians do it.
The online infrastructure used by the Russian public relations company, known as the Social Design Agency, or SDA, and related actors, included what are sometimes referred to as cyber-squatted domains. These websites were designed to appear to American readers as if they were major U.S. news sites like the Washington Post or Fox News. But in fact, they were fake sites. They were filled with Russian government propaganda that had been created by the Kremlin to reduce international support for Ukraine, bolster pro-Russian policies and interests, and influence voters in the United States and in other countries.
So the influence here was very anti-Ukraine, pro-Russia, and the Justice Department wants to draw attention to this
The
right
Russian
now.
public relations companies drove viewers to these websites by deploying influencers and paid social media advertisements. They also created fake social media profiles, posing as U.S. citizens, post comments on social media platforms with links to the sites. According to SDA's records, it actively sought to, quote, eliminate the possibility of detection of the Russian footprint. Both of the schemes I've just discussed make clear the ends to which the Russian government, including at its highest levels, is willing to go to undermine our democratic process.
So I've been looking through this. I'm trying to get my footing on this story. And this idea of this Russia, this RT network, I've never heard of this. I don't think I've ever even encountered this. And I wonder how many of you have come across this. The Fox News report says the Biden administration on Wednesday accused Russia of trying to influence the 2024 U.S. presidential election by targeting American voters through state-run media and other online platforms as part of a campaign referred to as Doppelganger. So Brad, have you ever encountered RT? I've not.
I have actually seen it online. I know that they've got a green square with a black, block lettering R&T. And I saw that years ago. I've seen that organization. I remember looking at it and going, I wonder what that is, because that, it just always seemed like it was something fishy or something was up with it. And I saw it was Russia Times. So I just kind of set that stuff off to the side.
Why am I looking at Russia Times for anything? Why would I be interested in that? I don't know. This reminds me of the election interference in 2016, where they did arrest people from Russia who were absolutely attempting to try to infiltrate or influence the outcome of the election. And I think it was in December when those arrests were made. When they arrested them, the way that the Justice Department came out and presented it is they said that they were working very hard to get into Facebook to try to influence people through posts on Facebook, and they said confidently that it had no impact on the election. So it's not true in total to say that Russia did not try to interfere in the 2016 election. A lot of people will try to dismiss that completely and totally, and when you do that, you hand an easy card to your political opponents to say, no, that's not true. There was Russian interference. The truth of the matter is there was, and it was, according to Obama's Justice Department, inconsequential. One thing, and I'm going to ask Hans von Spakovsky about this, that has been consistent throughout the course of suggestions about Russia's interests in American elections. Does Russia prefer Trump? Does Russia prefer Hillary? Does Russia prefer Biden or Kamala or Donald Trump once again, maybe in 2024, if he did or did not prefer him prior to this election? What Russia's interest is in the United States of America is to make us doubt our democratic republic, is to try to put cracks in the surface of our ability to trust the outcomes of our elections. And, you know, think about that. That's next level. The idea that Donald Trump the idea that somehow or another Russia is trying to interfere in our election to make sure that the Russia finger on the scales moves in the direction of Kamala Harris, moves in the direction of Donald Trump. Vladimir Putin's interests would be predicted as too small if he was just focused on what happens in 2024. Russian interest is the stability and strength of America. Now, I can absolutely make the case that the stability and the strength of America with a Trump candidacy and victory is infinitely better than with a Harris victory. But that's for 4 years, and then you got to go do it all over again. Think about the weakness that is an American people that doesn't believe in the outcome of their elections, no matter who wins. And, you know, there's probably some people out there on the left side of the aisle going, Annie, your guy right now, Trump, the one you support, still says that he won the 2020 election. Okay, but we have Stacey Abrams, who thinks she's the governor of Georgia right now. We have Hillary Clinton, who's written books explaining why her election was stolen from her. And it goes back with basically every election. I can pick and choose an election and people who deny it. And the problem is right now that it is amplified now in a way it never was before. And here's where the crux of this whole matter is. All of the things that Donald Trump challenged, all of the things that should have been vetted by the media for the veracity of the claims, investigated, researched, journalism explored throughout all of these challenges, if there would have been a full onslaught of journalistic integrity around what happened after 2020, and we found out that Donald Trump was completely and totally wrong, I think the vast majority of people right now on the right would not harbor the eyebrow raise that now exists when we talk about polls in the election. Who's going to win? It's neck and neck, too big to rig. It's not that you know that they're rigged. It's that you worry that they can be. And if you want to wash that whole thing out and snuff every ember that exists in the question of, but maybe, then what you do is journalism. Then what the media needs to do is not shame people and shout people down and insult people for asking questions, because that's their job. The people are asking questions. The press's job is to get answers to those questions, not to push people into silence and shame if they have questions or concerns. So I don't know the ins and outs. I know that we're not supposed to ask the questions, which makes me a skeptic. For every question you tell me I'm not allowed to ask, I've got 10 more. It's a Hydra thing. It just grows and grows and grows. And it's not good for the Republic. It's not good for our election system. It's not good for America. And every time Russia gets to weasel its way in here, this Russia talking point becomes a political advantage for both parties to start talking about it in a political sense that actually has no honest, real concern about whether or not Russia is trying to actually transform the outcome of this election. This is yet another talking point, another little loop-de-loop in the roller coaster before we get to Election Day. And we're just going to have to brace ourselves. Hold on tight, white knuckle. More to come. We've got Hunter Biden changing his plea to guilty, so we'll talk to Hans von Spakovsky about that when we come back, and we're also going to ask him about the implications of what the Attorney General and his staff said yesterday regarding the Russia news. So you're going to want to stick around for that. Hans von Spakovsky on the Annie Frey Show when we come back, and the YouTube poll for today, it's a fun one. Maybe it's not a fun one. I don't know. We'll find out. We need your comments. What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? There are 4 breakdowns of percentages there. We want to know, would your family support you? At least according to you? Annie Fry YouTube channel. Go tell us how popular you are within your own family. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning, and it's back to school time, of course. And what do the kids do over the summer? They drag dirt into your home. They stink it up, too. The good news is the kids are back in school. Zero Res is the healthy way to get your home feeling fresh and clean again. Even if it doesn't look dirty, you need Zero Res to remove the dust, dander, and bacteria in your carpet. If you have pets in particular, Zero Res can really help you. They can get the yuck out of your air ducts as well. And lucky for you, in the month of September, there's a great offer from my friends at Zero Res. So right now, you can get your entire home zero-resified from St. Louis's ultimate carpet cleaner. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129. $75 off your air duct cleaning during the month of September. Check out Zero Res today. Schedule your appointment. It's easy. 314-474-2020. Mention my name or ask for the 97.1 FM Talk special. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res. Don't miss this month's offer. 3 rooms starting at $129. $75 off your air duct cleaning. Zero Res.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com. 12 amazing children, one special evening. The Night of Rock Stars is September 27th, giving special needs kids a celebrity treatment they'll never forget. Join us for this month's Conservatives Care, The Night of Rock Stars, by visiting 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
It's much more sophisticated than what we've seen out of the Russians in the recent past, certainly than what we saw in 2016. Yes, they're using social media, but they're much more pervasive at it. They're creating false persona, using artificial intelligence to help drive content and distribute content. And they're much more resourced and organized, using RT, what was formerly just a propaganda organ for the Kremlin, now has turned into a full covert influence activity with full funding to do this kind of work by funneling resources and organizing editorial content in actual media outlets.
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Hans, we meet again, and Russia is in the middle of the conversation. It is election season, after all. Welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Give us the details now. Russia is back in the middle of our election system. They're trying to disrupt things. Are we supposed to believe that Russia wants Trump? What did we find out yesterday from Merrick Garland and crew?
Well, it's very interesting. I've heard folks saying that, this is intended to help Trump. No, actually, if you read the indictment itself, it says, and this is a quote, "Views expressed in the videos are not uniform." So that means they are not really for one side or the other. What they are doing is trying to push favorability for Russia. For example, and this is one used in the indictment, when there was a terrorist attack in Moscow for which ISIS announced responsibility, the Russians tried to push this out and say the Ukrainians had done it. And that's what they wanted this fake website that they had set up to do. So, they keep saying, this is this huge influence on American elections. It's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad they caught these guys. I'm glad they indicted them. They were using fake names, shell companies. But before everybody makes a big deal out of it about this, the entire amount of money spent by the Russians on this propaganda effort was $9.7 million. $9.7 million. Annie, do you know how much was spent in the 2020 campaign, 2-year campaign cycle on both our presidential and congressional elections? $16.4 billion.
It's a drop in the bucket.
So $10 million is, what is that? It's not even 1% of the amount of money that was spent. And I have no doubt this year we will see even more money spent. So this was a drop in the bucket. They make this big deal in the indictment about how, they produced 2,000 videos with 16 million views on YouTube. Okay, well, YouTube is viewed by the entire world. You notice they don't say, well, how many of those views were by folks in the United States? How many were actually by voters? Again, I don't say this isn't important. I'm glad these indictments are going forward. But somehow the claim that this is going to have a major influence on the election, that's just not the case.
Is there political capital for Biden's Justice Department to run this out and tease out, to make it look a lot bigger than it really is? Because as you say, you discover this, you squash it, you get rid of it, you make sure that it doesn't continue. It's good that happened. But I would assume that the Justice Department is constantly swatting down threats before they become bigger deals. I mean, is there a political advantage to what this Justice Department is trying to do with this particular story?
Well, apparently they've known about this for quite a while. It's interesting to me that when this website started up last year, it's only now, right before voting is about to start, that they come out with this big story about a Russian influence operation, and in particular, a website in Tennessee that has, a lot of has some conservative influencers, as they are called, on it. Although the commentators on that, which include folks like, Tim Pool, David Rubin, Benny Johnson, look, they've put out statements about the fact that they had complete editorial control over what they put, and there's nothing in the indictment claiming that they had any involvement in helping to propagate Russian propaganda. Yeah, the people who set up this website, they were doing that, but not that these other commentators had any participation in that. So that's also an important fact to remember. But look, it's another way of trying to go after the conservative world and say that, well, people's criticisms of Biden's policies on the economy and immigration are somehow Russian propaganda.
Hans, can we shift gears? I don't know how much you've been following the news today with Hunter Biden. Have you been able to keep up with that shift in the trajectory of his trial there? He's pleading guilty to his federal tax charges, which seem to be surprising news for at least the prosecution today.
Well, surprising to them, I can't say I'm surprised. His father is now out of it. His father's not running for re-election. So there's no point in him going to trial when the evidence against him is as rock solid as you could possibly have in a federal prosecution. It's just as rock solid as the gun case that was filed against him, as you know, where a jury convicted him. And the only defense that he's really had in this case was, well, I was on drugs. I didn't know what I was doing. That is exactly the same defense he tried to use against those gun charges, and the jury in Delaware didn't buy it and found him guilty. And I think they were the same thing here.
Also,
they were looking at a guilty verdict for sure.
When the I was on drugs, I didn't know what I was doing thing, didn't he write off the hookers and the blow on his tax return?
He did.
He knew that he was doing that part, but it doesn't quite fit. What does it mean for us not in the legal system, never had to plead guilty to some sort of big federal tax felony, whatever? What does it mean for him now that he's shifted out of pleading not guilty, having to go to a trial? What might happen now? What are the opportunities for Hunter Biden with this guilty plea?
Well, what's interesting about it was what you said at the beginning, that prosecutors didn't know about it. That means, I believe, that there was there's no plea deal. In other words, he didn't get some kind of agreement from the Justice Department that the Justice Department would recommend a certain sentence, perhaps a reduced sentence, in exchange for him pleading guilty. He's just going in and offering to plead guilty to the judge. So that means that he's basically throwing himself on the mercy of the judge and hoping that by pleading guilty, the judge will take that into account when coming up with a sentence for him, because it doesn't appear that there was any prior agreement with the Justice Department.
Well, we know what the judges and the districts and the jury pools look like when Donald Trump is in the courtroom. Right. Is Hunter Biden playing a home game here? Is he visiting in this courtroom?
I don't know, because I don't know the judge in this case, so I don't know if that's going to happen. I would hope it wouldn't. But look, he was already getting a good deal from the prosecutors. Yeah, they criminally indicted him for tax evasion charges, but as you know, they could have and should have criminally indicted him for violations of the Foreign Agent Registration Act, the FARA Act. In fact, that's exactly one of the charges that was in the indictment against these Russians that just got released. And yet, not only did the Justice Department not charge him with violating FARA, it's now too late. They allowed the statute of limitations to run on it.
Of course they did. This is a crime, the tax charges is a crime that he would very potentially face jail time with. Do you expect with a guilty plea? I mean, the second question I was going to ask you is about a likely Biden pardon here, which I think is even more likely now, regardless of whether he said prior when he was still running for office that he wouldn't. But would it be a huge deal for him to not get any jail time comparative to how other people would be treated in this instance?
The answer to that is a simple yes. Yes. This kind of look, it's very different when someone unknowingly violates the tax laws, maybe makes a mistake. When you intentionally and knowingly do not pay your taxes, when you intentionally and knowingly list as deductions things like the charges for prostitution and drugs, which you can't deduct, that's an intentional knowing violation of the law. And that's the kind of thing you can and should get jail time for.
And then going to the pardon that Joe Biden certainly could offer, I assume at any time he's a lame duck president. He's not running for anything. Maybe there's some sort of implication on Harris's ability to win the election, but I kind of don't think that it really would intersect. I think people would understand Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden. What are his options as the president as far as both the gun charge and this one with the guilty verdicts?
Well, listen, a president has 100% discretion on who he issues a pardon to under the Constitution. There's no restrictions, no limitations. So there is absolutely nothing other than perhaps public outrage or embarrassment, which I don't think the Biden family would respond to, that would prevent Joe Biden from pardoning his son from all of these federal charges. And listen, I'd be willing to guarantee you, particularly if Kamala Harris loses the election, I think there's almost a 100% probability that Joe Biden will do that.
The Joe Biden pardon of Hunter Biden would not be the most embarrassing part of the Hunter Biden story. I think that would fit in there and probably conclude it for the American people, and everybody would be ready to move on. I think it's the likely outcome. Well, we appreciate you. Next week, I don't know what we'll be talking about. Maybe Hillary Clinton will jump in there. We got Russia collusion back. We'll see what happens in a week's time, Hans. But you've been with us for years and years, and we always appreciate the way you weigh in on these important topics. So thanks for being here.
Sure thing, and talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky is the Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, DOJ lawyer, and a former FEC commissioner. Good to have him on the show. Quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America, and he is going to talk to us about hotel cleanliness. And I don't know if I want to stay around for this segment because I got a thing about hotel rooms. So we'll see what Ryan's got some tips for us. Wiggins America. When we come back, don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Stuart's American Mortgage. He's a bagel loan guy. And when you partner with Stewie to get your mortgage taken care of, you're going to pay nothing in closing costs. The bagel loan is called a bagel loan because bagels look like zeros. Stewie likes bagels. They look like zeros. Zero in closing costs. It's really that simple. The zero in closing costs is the important part for you, though, because going through a mortgage process and being able to, put the offer in you want in a competitive market right now and having potentially thousands of dollars back in your pocket to make a more aggressive offer, just to save, to be able to spruce up the house a little bit once you get it. That's how Stewie works for you. I have twice refinanced my house with a bagel loan, got a really great low rate locked in on my mortgage right now. You might need to do that as well if you got your mortgage when they were sky high. They've come down a little bit from their high, so you can reach out to him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440 and get the process started. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? We have a number of choices based on percentages. See which bucket you fall into, and then let us know. And also call out the one member of your family that won't vote for you live here in our YouTube chat. And we will dedicate the next segment to that.
Personally want to invite the Wiggins family to the Annie Fry YouTube chat, and you can come in and tell us the level of your support for Ryan Wiggins. That sounds like a good idea.
Yes, please do. And every Democrat in my family should show up as well and listen to the show every single day.
You can try to change them or just...
I don't know. I think we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see just depending on the person. And I will know because I'll know who you are when you sign up. 1241, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Is there better music than this? There isn't.
Yeah, there is.
No, there isn't.
You ever heard Bush?
Yeah.
Machine Head?
Going back to what I said. Breathe in and breathe out and listen to the music.
Ooh. I understand what you mean now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
Mickey
song
Mouse
is-
has grown up a cow.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Okay.
do you know what the song is called?
Minnie the Moocher.
No? Is that the only brass song you know?
Maybe.
Like, in the mood?
No.
No.
For making whoopee.
Is it?
Making whoopee.
Ah, man, this would have been very controversial back then.
Oh my gosh. I know why there was a baby boom.
I do too, yeah.
I love listening to 40s Junction on Sirius. I love listening to it. It's a whole mood. And I'm listening to these songs and I am like, Grandma! Like, whoa!
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa, calm down. It's the same thing. Sometimes the lyrics aren't even talking around the issue. So I don't know if I would say that
Like Cardi B style?
I was just going to say, I don't know if I would put Cardi B next to the Andrews Sisters, but there are just, there's some songs. I'll be driving around listening to it and I'll be like, there's a song called Strip Polka.
Really?
Oh, we got to play it later.
Strip Polka?
Yes. And when I was listening to it in the car and the kids were in the car.
That sounds
and
like
they
a
were
Weird Al song.
The kids were like, Mom, turn this off. It's filthy. And I'm like, but it's from the 40s. That means it's okay. It's great.
Yeah, as far as I understood it, people did not start having sexual intercourse until the 60s.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins!
Oh, man, totally stepped on that joke. I said 60s, and then you were like, oh my gosh, that was so funny.
No, I think he hit it.
Oh, you did it?
I think he hit the post on that one.
Dang it. All right, well, what I've got here is a bunch of red flags to look for when you're checking into a hotel or booking a hotel. Now, this will depend. Some of these are if you're just driving and you want to stop somewhere. I still know people who do that. I don't ever do that, though.
What?
Just drive and then find a hotel. I always book ahead of time. But I still know people who do. I'll just take off driving like to California or
I'll
Florida.
book ahead of time like that. I've done it that day.
See, I don't even do that.
But I need to research. I need to
Me
know
too.
certain things.
Me too.
And the only thing that I'm looking at on that rating is cleanliness. Not
Yep.
amenities, not free breakfast, cleanliness.
I look at breakfast too, but I look at cleanliness first. I want credit for that.
How many times have you gone to a hotel because you wanted the free breakfast, and then you went to the free breakfast, and the free breakfast sucked, so you ended up going to another place to get breakfast?
I'd say probably 80% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
So don't be like, I'll pay more for breakfast.
Well, I don't pay more.
Sure you don't.
I don't.
Sure you don't.
Trust me.
Mhm.
I'm looking for bargains when I look for this
Oh,
stuff.
I'm sure.
You know that's true.
Yes, I do.
And that's why this is so important to
Okay.
know these tips. So if you are one of those people who just drives until you get tired and you go, okay, we got to start looking for a hotel starting now.
Quick Rick says free breakfast usually are disappointing, even if they do have a waffle maker. I always am I'm like, I'm not using that waffle maker.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not making
crazy.
a waffle.
Oh, the waffles are the best part.
Stuff hanging
Yeah.
just all off of
Waffles
it.
Yeah,
that
waffles.
are made for you so you don't see the process where you've got like some kid who's licking the batter off the side of it right before you. No. Mm-mm.
I will admit there is more lickage of the batter
Yeah,
when
but
it's out in the open like that.
You're a buffet guy.
But I like buffets. Yeah. You know what? I just went to one on Labor Day
Mhm.
because it was a day that my wife and kids were out doing something, and I thought, this is a perfect day.
You went by yourself?
I went by myself.
You went by yourself to a buffet?
Chinese buffet.
You have
Yeah.
unlocked a certain part of life.
Yeah.
You don't go by yourself to a buffet.
I almost always do.
Do you have shame?
No.
It's because
But
you're by
I-
yourself.
but I don't
You
have-
would if you had people with you.
Secondhand shame for that. Holy cow.
It's great,
Like
man.
a buffet alone.
I will admit that nobody else is in there alone. I'm the only one.
They probably were, but they partnered up when they came in.
Yeah, just sit,
So they wouldn't look like you.
sit you next to somebody you don't
I
know.
think the sympathetic looks he gets from the families are like a bonus. People are sitting around like, oh, look at that poor guy.
He deserves a coupon.
Did
the
you
first,
use a coupon?
No.
Oh.
No, this was spontaneous. Just
You live-
like it would
You live
be
large, Ryan Wiggins.
if you were driving along and looking for a hotel. Here's a great sign. Number one, try to find a hotel, especially if you're getting later in the evening, that has a lot of cars in the parking lot.
Because people book there.
Because it means it's a popular place to stay. If you find a place that doesn't have a lot of cars, that means
Take a hint.
that, that you should take the hint that it's not a very popular place to stay.
Hot tip.
Well, it kind of is counterintuitive because you'd think, oh, I know that place has vacancies. But
I
if the
don't-
parking lot's full, you're not sure.
I don't
They're saying
need
still go there.
The hotel to be empty. I need a room
One room.
to be empty.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. And I thought that was a great first tip. Second one, a lack of available luggage carts or assistance indicates poor hospitality. Do you use luggage carts?
Yes, 6 people in my family.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to. I don't ever, and I have 5 people in my family.
Sean says Ryan shows true heroic courage going solo to a buffet. Tip of the hat.
Thank you very much. Please leave other places I should go solo now that I have kind of cracked that door open. Movies, maybe?
Less about your crack. Let's keep going.
Dude, you know what?
What?
With all
What?
the Hunter
I don't want to
Biden,
know what comes next.
with all the Hunter
oh,
Biden
that
stuff.
kind of crack.
Yeah, there's been
Okay.
a lot of crack talk today.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
That's the name of the hour.
I didn't want to talk about
Crack talk. Next one. Light bulbs out in common areas exemplify a lack of detail and care.
Once you've gotten there, it's too late, bro.
Once you're in, no, you're just in the lobby now. You haven't checked
If I'm
in
in
yet.
the lobby, I've got a room there.
No. Like, again,
No.
you are just driving through the night. So I'll get to a couple here that'll address the way you book and the way I usually book. But if you're a person who just drives and drives until you can't drive no more and you stop at a place, you do not have to commit once you walk into the lobby.
Keith says, Ryan is a genius. My wife and kids hate buffets too. I haven't had a conversation with another person at a buffet in 15 years.
Keith, thank you. Thank you very much.
You guys should start a club. Maybe you have one. Do you have a handshake?
We can. No, we don't, because we don't like knowing each other exists.
I think it would be helpful to me if I were in your shoes.
Keith, I'm going to throw this out there. Do you order a soda when you go to a buffet, or do you, like me, just get a water because you're like, I'm going to have plenty of ice cream, my friend. I don't need the extra sugar.
What?
Plus, it costs extra to get a soda, so you just get the water. The soda is the only thing extra, and the rest of it's all you can eat. If you walk into a hotel lobby and you see light bulbs out, let's say you have booked it, Annie, does that change your opinion? Do you change at that point?
Multiple? If it's not maintained, I'm not going in there.
You've already booked it, though.
I would not sleep in a hotel that I felt uncomfortable in.
I don't think we're talking about just like a sketchy place that like the lights are blinking. Like, uh-oh, I had to walk in the alley to get there. No, I'm talking about just a place there. It's a normal place. You walk in the hotel lobby and you just see that they haven't changed the light bulbs. Is that a major indication to you that this place is going to suck?
I mean, if everything else is sparkling and a light bulb just went out, no. But if they're not, if it's obvious they're not maintaining the place, then that's a huge problem.
Next one, a lack of response to pre-arrival inquiries is a major red flag.
I don't inquire on anything
You
pre-arrival.
don't? Really?
No, I don't.
See, this is one of my major tips. It's actually one of the reasons I brought this topic in general, is that I've found, and I'm sharing this with everybody, and I hate to do this because this is one of my
Do you
real
hear
secrets.
his tone change?
Yeah.
He just put on his top hat to have this next conversation. Go on, Lincoln.
If you're really looking for a good deal on a hotel room, and cleanliness is of priority to you, I'm not saying it's not.
It's the only thing.
Cleanliness is important. It's my most important thing too. If you're looking still for a deal, like, oh man, yeah, I could stay at this place over here for $150 and I know it's going to be clean. But can I find a place for under $100 that I know is also going to be clean? Here's a tip.
I start to get worried there.
I understand. I'm willing to gamble a little bit more than most. I understand that too.
More than most.
But here's what you do. You look at TripAdvisor, hotels, or any of those reviews. You look at all the reviews, just like anywhere else. But you look for a place that was recently purchased, recently renovated, and the new owners are highly responsive. So it may have low ratings because over the last few years it's gone downhill. But they just purchased it in May of 2023, and now they're responding to every single person's criticism.
So with this 90 minutes of research that I'm doing, am I saving $15?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm paying $15 to not do that. Give me a nice hotel.
You might even be saving $50.
No.
Then is it worth your time?
No.
Already.
You're not going to save $50.
Well, there are times. So we travel for soccer sometimes, and we're just going to random cities. I think the last one we went to was Springfield, Missouri. I looked online and found a lot of them near the soccer fields that were around
Don't you
$130
stay
to
where the team
$150.
stays?
Sometimes. Depends on the tournament.
Is it because you want to go cheaper?
Sometimes. Depends on the tournament.
So you stay apart from the team to save how much money?
The only time that I ever do that is if they book these big suites that are for families and just me and my son are going. So I'm not going to pay $215 for a suite that I don't need.
But you can't get a room that's not a suite at that hotel?
Not if you book with the team. No, you could, and sometimes I will. I'll still book at the same hotel.
Just not in the
Just
block.
not in the
because
block.
Yeah. But so you're not maybe in the same hallway, but you're in the same hotel.
Yes. Yeah. But the way to do that...
My family needs the suite or two.
Well, yeah, if we all go, we do. But if we don't. So the way to do that is to look for places, again, that have been recently purchased, recently renovated, and the person is highly responsive. An accumulation of dust and dirt in the entryways displays an overall lack of cleanliness.
Well, that's very helpful tip there. Thank you.
Uh-huh. These are from...
I always bring my broom inside just in case it needs a little cleaning.
If the entryway is dirty, it might be dirty.
Are we getting into the territory where we're walking into this hotel from an alley where the light bulbs are out and there's dirt on the floor right in front of you when you walk in?
We're getting close.
Okay.
Because this one wasn't in there. I'm going to add
And your
this as a bonus.
advice is to not stay at those hotels or not without a really good
If you
deal?
see a ton of dirt, don't stay at that hotel.
But what if it's a really good price?
Then maybe. If you like
What's
Brad
the
was saying,
formula?
If you walk in, here's another tip. This isn't even in. This is a bonus.
Oh gosh.
If you walk in and there are just cockroaches everywhere, don't stay there. You're probably going to have cockroaches in your room if they're in the lobby. Back to the list itself from Business Insider. Not requesting identification upon arrival is a safety concern. I don't know if I ever would have really thought about that. But if you check in and they're like, they don't care about seeing your ID, you just say your name, then you're a little bit more concerned about the safety of the place.
I've never thought about that. But
Now you will.
I always pretty much walk in and hand them, I have it out. I'm usually like, get me my room. Not outwardly, but after traveling, it's like, whatever you need from me, just take it. I want to go to the room and get my kids in the room.
It's a little different for you, though. You're a huge celebrity.
Oh, stop it.
So
No,
you
I'm
walk
not.
into a hotel room in Birmingham, Alabama, they're like, oh, this is Annie Fry.
That's not
They
true.
don't need to see your ID.
That's not true. If I walked into a hotel room in Birmingham, Missouri, they would not know who I was.
She doesn't book under her name.
That's right. It's under an LLC.
That's not true. This is not true.
The Bidens did that, though.
If it were true, you guys wouldn't be saying it. So it's not true.
Last one, how your bed is made. At this point, though, I'm thinking you're pretty much there. I don't know if you're going to change it. How your bed is made can speak to the quality of housekeeping. Thank you very much, Brad, for pointing out the obvious. If there are bugs everywhere, don't stay there. Some
George-
of these are good, some of these not
George
as much.
says another concern is, will you need the room for more than 1 hour?
Do hotels like that even exist anymore? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. I don't know if that means no, they don't, or yes, they do.
I think they meet most of the qualifications on your list. There's always a no-tell motel hanging around waiting for some more business.
See, I don't go to those parts of the city as much.
You own one.
I own what? I own a hotel now in the red light district? This is all news to me. There you go. Brad, Annie sounds like she had this figured out, but now you do too.
Oh, yeah. I'm so informed now.
I really am very... since I was super little, there's a little bit of an OCD-ism to this, I believe, but I wouldn't sleep in hotel beds when I was a kid.
What would you do?
Sleep on the
Stand?
floor? Bring a sleeping bag and sleep on the floor.
That's even dirtier.
Not if you're in a sleeping bag with a pallet of your own blankets and your own pillow.
Well, that's true, I guess.
Yeah, I just didn't like it.
Wow.
I think I saw like one CBS special with the blue light, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh,
or the
yeah.
infrared light or whatever
I
it was.
remember those.
All I know is that the cleaning staff didn't use that light. And they should have. Tyrus and lots more coming up next. Don't go away.
Wesley Financial Group is not an offer. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
Let's talk about Window World and your window project that you are starting to lean into quite a bit. If you've been thinking about replacing your windows, Window World is there to start that conversation, and they're eager to talk to you. 314-993-1800. And you can start looking them up at windowworldstlouis.com. They are now offering up to 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. So you can replace those windows in your home in a way that is affordable to you. They're excited to work with you on this. So give them a call at 314-993-1800 and talk to them about their quality windows. They're so durable. They will stand on their window. They will stand behind their windows. They believe in their windows. And you can also. 314-993-1800. And make sure you tell them that you heard about it on the Annie Fry Show, because you'll be then entered to win a drawing to win 4 St. Louis Blues tickets for this upcoming season from Window World. Mention the Annie Fry Show when you call 314-993-1800. WindowWorldSTLouis.com.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hunter Biden makes an offer. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Just as jury selection was set to begin in his federal tax trial in California, a defense attorney announced the president's son wants to change his not guilty plea. Federal prosecutors were not told in advance.
They are shocked. They are surprised. They were caught unawares. Leo Wise, one of the lead prosecutors, said in court, quote, "This is the first we are hearing about this."
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in L.A. Hunter Biden is charged with 9 counts, including 3 felonies. No word yet from prosecutors on next steps. Former President Trump says he'll revive the economy in a New York speech.
My plan will rapidly defeat inflation, quickly bring down prices, and reignite explosive economic growth. Kamala Harris will take more money out of American pockets.
The Harris campaign says Trump will ruin economic progress for the middle class. Harris is now in Pennsylvania, where their first debate happens next week. With a smile on his face, Russia's president says he hopes Harris wins, praising what he calls her infectious laugh.
Mr. Putin ought to stop talking about our elections, period. He shouldn't be favoring anybody, one way or another.
White House National Communications Advisor John Kirby says only the American people should get to determine their next president. This a day after federal charges were announced against 2 Russians accused of spreading propaganda to influence U.S. elections. And now more charges in a previously announced conspiracy to destroy Ukrainian and NATO systems. The U.S. just charging 5 Russian intelligence officials and 1 civilian with conspiring to launch cyber attacks against Ukraine and its allies.
These defendants are responsible for carrying out the series of destructive computer attacks that are commonly referred to as the Whispergate campaign.
Assistant U.S. Attorney General Matt Olson says that campaign targeted computers in Ukraine shortly before Russia's 2022 invasion. America is listening to Fox News.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We should top out close to 90 degrees going through our afternoon. Lots of sunshine, partly cloudy, 80s for evening plans, 68 for the low. Shot of a spot thunderstorm towards morning. That's our next cool front. Friday, a breezy from the northwest, 81 degrees. Saturday, sunny and 74. Sunday, sunny and 77, 55 at night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
All right, we're in September. It sounds like it's early because we're just fighting with all the heat and getting our air conditioning fixed. But for all the early birds, a word to the wise: schedule and have your furnace checked and make sure it is ready for winter before all the slots get fold up, and you'll end up having to wait, and you don't want your furnaces break the same as air conditioners, just different temps. An air conditioner will break when it's 100, your furnace will break when it's 0, and on the weekend. Do everything you can not to allow that to happen. Just give us a call. We'll put you on the schedule and get you a furnace check, make sure it's safe and ready to go at a very nominal fee. Call me, Bart Inman, at one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. And the only number for Missouri and Illinois is 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it's bartinman.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
St. Louis, Walk to End Lupus now. The 2024 Walk to End Lupus takes place September 7th at Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park under the Trainman Pavilion. Join us in person to Walk to End Lupus now. Sign up yourself or register your team today. The Lupus Foundation will provide you with all the tools you need to fundraise for lupus research, support, and educational services, all while earning awesome incentives. Invite friends, family, and coworkers to join your team and fundraise. Join us as we unite as one lupus community. For more information, visit the website at lupus.org/heartland.
The Mark Cox Morning Show is live in Eureka this Wednesday in support of the Focus Marines Foundation. Go to 971talk.com/events to find out more. We're looking forward to seeing you at Chicken Ellie's in Eureka this Wednesday, live with the Mark Cox Morning Show.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We're not looking enough at the mental health of people that end up doing mass shootings, which when you think about it, they're random. They don't know anyone. Sometimes, in one case, someone had been fired from that school, but most of the time these are random shootings, people that are psychotic, people that were not looked at, people that evaded obvious signs where they weren't looked at. We don't have enough mental health personnel in this country. We don't have them on the ground. We don't have interventions in place. We're really focused on guns, not on the people shooting them. They're going to get their guns. The issue is, what's their mental health like? We have an enormous crisis, and we've been seeing, and CDC's been putting out reports on this, that teens and young adults are in trouble. Young women are suicidal. Depression, anxiety is flourishing coming out of the pandemic. It's an enormous problem, and it's leading to these shootings.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Tyrus joins us once again. He's a regular on Gutfeld, a Fox News contributor, and he has a book out that you should check out, Enough Said. You can get that right away. Tyrus, welcome back to the show. Sad news yesterday. We're in the same place as we found ourselves many, many times before. We're hoping you would be able to talk about it with us today.
Yeah, I know you don't want to talk about baseball because I just got swept by the Mets. I need time.
Okay, well, yeah, we can give you some time. I don't even know what the Cardinals are doing right now. It's up and it's down.
The Yankees once, I know that.
You know, when another school shooting ends up happening, a lot of people jump to their respective corners. There's a lot of politics. We're in the middle of a campaign season. It's not avoidable. on the national news conversation scene, but I think that what Dr. Mark Siegel was saying there is important, and it's the mental health of our young people. And I know that you care about this. You talk very openly and honestly about how we spend time with our children and not give them electronics to babysit them and so on and so forth. But I'm wondering if you have seen mental health, like, do you prioritize that as a concern when we have school shootings like this, kind of the same MO?
No, I don't. I always feel like it's a cop-out. That's the same thing as blaming guns on violence, not people on violence. If you don't have banks where they have less security because there might be someone with a mental health issue, they just assume that someone is always trying to rob them. That's why they're always up in the security. That's why their stuff's state-of-the-art. That's why if you go in there, you can't get out. They don't have, so I always look at that as like, he's mental health, nothing we can do about it. No, I'm sorry. That's not good enough anymore. Schools are soft targets. The protocols aren't followed. There needs to be, it's not even it needs to be made a hard target. And when I say that, and I get frustrated because this is ridiculous. Like it's harder to get into a professional sports game than it is a school. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And we spend billions of dollars on protecting other countries, but we don't protect our own children. Like it's a joke. As a former teacher, it's like, everyone has to be on board. And I don't think it's even fair at this point for it to be all the burden of the police department. We have people in this country who have served overseas, we have veterans coming home. They know what to look for. They're trained what to look for. Behaviors, erraticness, like dealing with, people, suicide bombers and all these other kind of things. We have the abilities, we have the depth, we have the knowledge, we have people who are willing to volunteer but it should be a payable job. It's not hard to do this. Literally every school district has a SWAT unit specifically for school protections, and they're on a route, and you have 3 in each school. And it's literally it does less than a percentage to do this.
Yeah.
And you would have the police presence at the school. You would have a military experience presence at the school, training at the school. And you could also make sure that there's someone who's like, hey, all school doors during class hours are closed. Like nonstop. We have great dogs in this country. Having dogs that can smell stuff that to alert them to things that maybe the metal detectors aren't missing. But we have to protect our schools. And it's not that hard. I mean, I'm just throwing stuff on the wall here.
Yeah.
Imagine if people got together who really wanted to get things done. And I think it has to be private. It can't be federal. Cause you know what it is with the government right now. So this is a DI hire situation.
Do you feel like that there is an apprehension to harden schools because it looks bad? Like why would people not do that? Why would people not do what you're saying?
Because the thing is greed. I always think of greed, or it's not really a big deal to them. Because it seems the only ones who are affected. Let's just call it what it is. Because if something keeps happening, you'd put a stop to it. It's not, you will sit there and we will listen for hours and hours of these speeches and they come on all these talk shows and all they talk about is other countries and all the energy they spent going after trying to convince us that a Republican president, all the time they did that. You never hear nothing unless something happens.
Yeah.
And then when it does, and it's just, and again, this is my perception. So it just feels to me, if you wanted to fix it, you could fix it. And blaming the NRA for it is BS. We have rotten human beings. We have people who grow up, whether the situation is, that's not really wait and see what happens. Let's just assume it's going to happen and be prepared for it.
Yeah, it's going to happen again. We all know that we're going to be facing this same conversation again. And I'll say, some people say the guns, the mental health. Yeah. I mean, we
have men and women who serve this country who know what to look for, helping to support the police, having another set of eyes, having an understanding of what's going on. Oh, I don't want bulletproof windows and gun and metal detectors and servicemen at my schools, I do.
Yeah, you know
I'll
what?
take that.
It's an
You know what?
interesting. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's just, yeah, it might not be pretty, but everybody's safe.
If school
I'll
choice
take
was a
that.
real, if we had real school choice, and you got X amount of dollars to get your kid educated, and one school was hardened, and one school wasn't, wouldn't everybody pick the hardened school?
Yeah, I would imagine so. So I don't think it's the parents who would be. I'm so angry that we have a whole unit dedicated to protection of our schools. They have nothing else. Their whole time is watching schools. Teacher starts to seem like he's a little off. You start following reports. You use counseling. You can have people when you see a kid that looks a lot of delinquency, missing school, the way they're coming to school. You know, there's things that they can look for that they see, the tendencies, the nervous stuff that we normal people who have not been in war zones, who don't understand, because that's what this is. Individuals declaring war on our students. They're going in there to shoot to kill. They don't even care who they shoot, as long as they shoot someone. You know, and then the media makes them a martyr. Then he gets a documentary. No one remembers the damn name of the people shot. It's like I said, I have nothing positive to say about it because to me, and I'm a facts guy, I'm a common sense guy. This doesn't seem that hard to me. You know, but we'll argue over personal responsibility is the reason why we elect somebody opposed to making our schools. But our kids get screwed. Social media, they know who the predators are. They know who surfs. And just like they know every time if I say, oh, man, I agree with this Trump's policy, it'll say I'm a danger to the community. But some guy pretending to be a 13-year-old trying to convince another 13-year-old to show up at McDonald's to meet them, he can just carry on free as day because he buys followers. Like, it's disgusting. It's just, why do we treat our children so bad? I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's playing with it's taking such a massive risk with the safety and security of our kids. I mean, ironically, this was very unfortunately ironic. Yesterday, we had gotten an email from one of my kids' schools that they were going to be doing shelter in place or whatever they call that type of a drill that morning at 10:30. And I knew that was going to happen. I appreciate the heads up by the school that they're going to do that. But while I knew that drill was going on at the school, I was covering the Georgia situation. And I remember the first time that my kids had to go through one of these drills, because you and I didn't have to do that when we were in school. This wasn't a thing when we were in school. And it broke my heart to think about them having to pretend to hide from some sort of active, violent situation like that. But we're asking our kids to go through drills where they just go hide in the corner of a room. Like, it's a realistic situation enough to where we're like, go here and hide and be quiet until we tell you it's okay. We're practicing that with our children right now, but we're not implementing that long list of things that you just said. That's absurd.
And that's but one thing you need to have these conversations with your children. Unfortunately, it's a reality of our times that we live in now. It's like, I'm sure in Israel, those children have to learn a lot of things they don't want to learn about terrorist attacks and invasions and things like that. I'm sure right now in Russia and Ukraine, the children are learning hard lessons about what the world is like. And I think you got to prepare your children. This whole protect them from everything. What good is that going to do with them when the moment literally could be happening at their time? It's where you have a third grader who needs to know the difference between the sound of a firecracker and a gun going off. But unfortunately, because there's no help, it's an afterthought. Literally, this has to stop. That's not good enough an answer.
I agree. You've got to
zero in on my house and tell me what I had for breakfast and dinner and how long I watched Fox News, and if I snuck on CNN for a couple seconds or whatever the hell I decided to do, they could tell me everything I'm doing. Alexa can listen and tell you, and gives you ads on how you can buy more inflatable, whatever the hell your deal is. But Alexa can also hear a guy sitting there trying to talk about doing things to other people and hurting people and this, that, whatever. But for some reason, they always slip through the cracks. So my thing is the best offense is a good defense, and it shouldn't be much. And that's why I keep my kids in homeschool. I'm 50-50 with that, and I'm still pushing that all my kids be homeschooled because it's just not worth the risk at this point.
Yeah, it's such a big risk.
And unfortunately, this guy survived, and he'll get the interviews and he'll get the documentary, and it's disgusting. And he'll get and people will write him letters and in jail and all this other crap, and it's like, what's the downside for people to pull this crap? And that's the ugliness of it. You got to plan like it's going to happen in your school. It's just a matter of time. And that needs to be the mindset, because we do it with our banks. We do it with our professional sports. We do it with our institutions and buildings and, the Capitol. Everything's got their own police department and stuff like that. Enough's enough. Protect our damn schools. It's not hard.
Yeah.
And it's sad. We should care more about our kids.
Well, Tyrus, enough said, I think. Well said as well. Yeah. Thank you for being with us today and talking about it, because we do need to be talking about the straight facts, and that's what you always do with us. That's what people love you for. So thanks for doing that with us today.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon. Tyrus, regular on Gutfeld, host of Maintaining with Tyrus on Outkick. And his book, Enough Said, is out right now. Always love having the Fox News contributor here on the Annie Fry Show. Great conversation. All right, we're going to bring Ryan back in here for the next segment, along with Chris Terrell, who has been a longtime friend of ours on the YouTube chat. We've seen him out there among many of you listeners, but he wrote a book. He is a United States Navy veteran. He's an engineer, and he wrote a book called Modern Inheritance. This is a really, really important topic, and I almost want to just shut up and listen to what he has to say for the next 15 minutes, because he's going to give us a comprehensive guide that will help you fortify your digital life and any assets like that against modern threats like scams, hacks, identity theft. This is one of those things that you and I don't know nearly enough about because it's still kind of new. How do you protect yourself? How do you protect that legacy? Well, Chris Terrell has written the book on it. He's going to talk to us about it when we come back. And go to the Annie Fry YouTube chat and ask your questions there. He's often in that chat. He'll be in studio with us next, and maybe he can answer some of your questions as well. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Celebrate McKelvey Homes' 126th birthday with amazing savings. Get $18,980 off your brand new McKelvey home. But that's not all. You also receive up to $10,000 cash at closing from the Carpenters Union. That's a total savings of up to $28,980. But hurry, these funds are limited and won't last long. Move up to McKelvey. Visit McKelveyhomes.com. That's McKelveyhomes.com, established in 1898.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business. So the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service. We're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. Roofing and siding and gutters and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Half of the people that die in this country from gun violence, it's from suicides, unfortunately. So I get the instinct to say we got to do something. KJP wants Congress to do something. What the hell are they going to do to actually fix this?
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
We live in a modern world. Our lives have been digitized, from how we communicate to how we access our information, to how we deal with money, store it, save it, spend it, shop with it, to how we chronicle our lives. Our memories, our photos, our life's work is all saved in some digital account. Modern Inheritance is a book created to protect those accounts. It's going to fortify your security, make sure that you are not the weak link getting hacked, scammed, or tricked out of access to those accounts, and it's going to back up that access for you in case you lose your passwords or your devices. And then someday it will pass all of that information onto your children when you move on. Make sure that your digital life makes it to the next generation.
It's such an important topic that we don't really talk about yet because I don't think many people have thought these thoughts yet. Save one, Chris Terrell, who is in studio with us now, a Navy veteran, an engineer, and he wrote the book, Modern Inheritance. Chris, welcome into the studio. It's great to have you here.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
I put you right next to Ryan Wiggins. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, I guess that'll be all right. Sorry I didn't wear my shirt. You know.
Sorry I didn't wear my Lumi.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? You can't get away with that. We're on a live stream. I can talk about smell because you can't see it, but we can see you're wearing a very nice shirt.
Yeah, but it's not my shirt.
It's not your shirt.
He wasn't implying that he was shirtless.
I thought that's what he was saying. Chris, what were you saying?
We'll sit you down and explain it later. Can we talk about his book, please?
I don't know.
Would you rather talk
Chris,
about your book?
What do you want to talk about?
The Modern Inheritance is the book that we're going to discuss here. And if you go to the Annie Fry X account, Annie Fry Show, I've just linked to it. You can get directly to this book to learn more about it. Chris, you have thought the thoughts that a lot of people have estates planned out, trusts, wills, whatever. But there's a whole different world to thinking about your future after you're no longer here. And you've walked down that path to think about what needs to happen next. Why'd you come up with this concept?
Well, the simplest answer is Rosie, Edison, and Arthur. Those are my 3 kids. My wife, Brandy, absolutely amazing. I was raised by really good parents. I want to be a really good parent. And I want my legacy to live on. And if it's not there when I pass on, then that's not good. Mm-hmm. And then if they don't know how to access it when I pass on, that's not good. So the book tries to teach you real basic logic so people can't scam you, track or hack you. They can't trick you out of giving up your accounts. Because people don't use like nefarious software anymore. Like encryption's just so good. Now they just do a little bit of research. They're like, oh, hey, Annie, I want to pay you like $1,000 a month.
Sounds good.
That's all we can afford. We're a nonprofit. That's all we can afford. But we really like your take on, I don't know, like Lutheran schools for kids that aren't Lutheran. So we have an outreach program. We just want you to log into this app and do some copy for us. You know, we think you're going to be great for it. And then they tell you to download this app. and it's malware, and it spies on you. It takes your passwords, and they don't steal your stuff right away. But someday, they're just like, all right, well, we have our passwords, we have our logins, and then they take your stuff. And you're like, I have no idea how that happened.
How many people right now are living life with this type of stuff in their system somewhere?
Well, considering $10 billion a year gets scammed from Americans.
And is he talking about the federal government or?
No, people. People. God. Yep. Brad and I were talking about that yesterday.
10 mil is a little low.
Yeah,
boy.
10 billion from people.
10 billion, but only 1 million under Trump.
That's right. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
So, Chris, let's like define some things here to make this an easier conversation for people to consume. When you're talking about digital life and assets, what are those?
Well, like the little ad you ran kind of conveyed, we've converted our lives to a digital form. Our money is all online. How we communicate is all online. Your show's online. I can access your show from anywhere in the world at any time. And every way that we interact with other people now has an account. And everything that's valuable to us, be it money or just your memories or your life's work. Like Ryan's writing books and books and books. Sometimes just thoughts. Maybe some of those
Are
thoughts.
you happy now, Ryan?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you can mention the name of it if you wanted to, but
go ahead, buddy.
We're talking about his book, Modern Inheritance. The book is Modern Inheritance.
I've actually been looking forward to hearing about this because we've talked for a while about you writing this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
But all of that is saved somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's all under an account. And if it doesn't even have to be valuable to them. If it's valuable to you, they can hold it over your head. They can use ransomware. They can tell you you're locked out. They can just trick you in a phone call and make you think that you're locked out. So you just kind of have to be more aware of scams and scammers and social engineering tactics that are out there. And if you just add a couple steps to what you do every day, just lo-fi, no technology, just logical steps, then it short circuits most scams.
Chris, as we've been talking, because I think, you knew I had written a book, you were writing a book, you reached out to me on Twitter, I knew you from the chat. Brad, of course, said you were cool, so I'm like, okay, fine, we can talk about this stuff. So we've been talking about your book for quite a while. What you're saying today, though, is aspects that I didn't know you were writing about. Because as far as I knew, what you were writing about is how to plan for the future monetarily, how to estate plan. So is that, like, which one's the focus of the book? Is it avoiding the scams, or is it more about getting ready for the next generation? Because that's what I was assuming it was about.
Okay, so like our good friend Thomas Sowell says, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. So if you go and you make your security good, great, amazing, and then you lose your passwords or you drop your phone in a lake, then you're locked out. So the natural second part of the book is it backs up those accounts. Because if your security is really good, you don't want to lose access yourself.
Right.
And then the natural conclusion to that is someday your kid will actually inherit the book.
So Chris, when you let's talk a little bit. So we kind of have an understanding of what that digital life, what these assets are, and how we do live completely digital lives. There's really not much that we do at all that doesn't have a tether to something that is digital. What is your expertise in this realm? How'd you learn about this? I mean, you've told us at the very beginning what your passion is. It's your own family. It's your own children. What kind of expertise do you bring to the table that made you take the extra step, not just to help yourself, but to write Modern Inheritance and help other people listening right now?
Well, it actually started in the Navy almost 20 years ago, troubleshooting electrical systems, just real basic thought processes, kind of weeded out all the big issues. And then later in life, I was in charge of a digital art collection called Rhino World, and we raised money and saved 89 rhinos in South Africa from being poached.
Wow.
With Warriors for Rhinos and Warriors for Wildlife. And people in that community, because they were on like Bitcoin and blockchain, they were losing everything in one go of a scam. And I was like, well, like logically, if you would have just done this. So I wrote it down, and then I started training those communities. Because once someone in those communities gets hacked or scammed, they sell everything. And then that takes the value of the entire community down. So it ended up being a pretty valuable asset to have that training in place. And then it ended up developing into like a 6-course, almost college-level course, and then I turned it into the book.
Is your advice in this book, the steps, the strategy, is it difficult?
Nope. No, I ran everything by my 74-year-old father. And if you didn't understand it, I put it in the appendix. There's an appendix that defines everything. and it is 74-year-old boomer proof.
So is the presidency. So
At least.
now, moderninheritance.com. You can go to that website. You can go to the Annie Fry Show X account at Annie Fry Show. It's the current tweet, X post, whatever they are now on there. Tell me about how people, tell me obvious mistakes people are making right now. You said someone makes you an offer, and the offer's always really nice. Don't believe any offers that you're going to get like that. But what are some other things that you could add to that anecdote of what people are doing or experiencing right now to just openly expose themselves to problems?
If you are ever in a situation where someone is asking you three things, either asking you to log into an account, to send money, or a third thing that's escaping my memory right now, I'll get back to it. But in three specific cases, or download anything to your computer, like we were talking about earlier. So if they're asking you to download anything, send money, or log into something, you need to do it independently. You need to be like, all right, I understand. Get out of that situation entirely and start from scratch and log into the account like you would as if no one had told you to do so. So like if Bank of America is like, hey, you've been scammed, you need to log in and change your thing, be like, all right, that's great. Hang up. Search for Bank of America on DuckDuckGo. Get their phone number from their website, call them, and ask them. Just double check independently. So if you always take 2 lines to get to the finishing point, the scammer's path is never going to meet up with the real path.
Yeah, we had this earlier this year. My 3-year-old, I guess she might have been 2 when she did it, broke her arm. And my 14-year-old son tripped in his dark bedroom, should clean his room, and fell into his desk and busted his lip open. So he had to have stitches, but since it was across the lip part where it goes from white to red of the lip, he had to have a highly skilled plastic surgeon do it to make sure that it healed and his smile wasn't changed. So I had medical bills coming in from broken arm, and I had medical bills coming in from faceplant. And when you do something like that, you get a bill from the hospital, you get a bill from the doctor or the pediatrician, you get a bill from the surgeon, you get a bill from the anesthesiologist or whatever it is. So I'm trying to keep track of all of these things. And there was one bill that I didn't pay. I don't know how I just didn't get to it. So they call you and they say, hey, we want to alert you to this account or whatever. And they were asking me to pay, if I could pay over the phone. And I was like, I will call you back.
Exactly.
I'm not going to nobody is going to call me and I'll be like, here's my credit card.
Right.
Ever. And I guess digitally, that's a very important process to follow also, is to just you should be skeptical of everything, but don't do it on their terms. Do it on your own terms.
Yeah, even if it's your own mom. Unfortunately, they can deep fake voices. They can absolutely pretend to be anybody.
Next time your mom calls you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to verify this.
I already do.
Just be like, whatever, use any excuse to get out of it. Be like, if they're like, hey, send me this money on PayPal, be like, oh, I just uninstalled PayPal. Give me 5 minutes. And then call your mom. Call your mom on your wife's phone, not your phone.
That's also true.
And be like, hey, did you actually just call me?
The deep faking of the voice thing, that seems like next level. Like, here, this is an honest thought that I have in my mind, which I know is stupid, but I'm just saying it out loud because y'all might be thinking it too. I'm not big enough for someone to be spending time deep faking my mom's voice. Like, nobody would waste that much time to do the research to deep fake my kid's voice. Mom, I need help, send money or whatever. I feel like you'd have to be a certain level of person for a scammer to take the time to go through that.
But if they're running the scam 100 times a day, then sure, you're definitely worth it because you're in the range of people who think that. You're in the range of people who won't think twice. So it's just easy. It's much easier to get, 10 people that are thinking exactly how you just said to just send like $100 than it is to go get $1,000 from a rich guy that has layers and layers of security.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're speaking with Chris Terrell. He's a United States Navy veteran. He's an engineer, and he wrote the book Modern Inheritance. You can go to moderninheritance.com. You can search Modern Inheritance on Amazon. You can go to Annie Fry Show on X and see the link there as well to learn more about this book. I really encourage you to learn about this because Chris knows what he's talking about. At the completion of the book, if I get this, if my parents get it, at the completion of the book, what do you then have to hand over to somebody?
You take the book and you put it in a fireproof safe and you lock it up, and then in your will, you will it to your next of kin. Then they get the book, and the same instructions it gave you, it leaves off, and they pick up, and it tells them how to reverse the process to get access to all your things, even if the passwords change, because obviously it'll be years from now. The main things is you want to secure your email and you want to secure your phone provider, because they will email you a confirmation code if you change any password. They will text you a confirmation number if you change any password. Your two-factor authentication is almost always email. It's almost always phone. So those are the two you got to really, really make sure are secure.
I was getting my phone screen fixed at a store, and there was a woman who came in, and I was just sitting there while they were trying to fix the screen in the back room, and these parents came in, and they had this phone, and they're like, we're really trying to get into this phone. And it was an iPhone. And they're like, what information do you have? They're like, it's my daughter's phone. She passed away last week. Now, I don't know the details on any of that, but they didn't have the password to get into the phone. It's an iPhone. I'm not going to speculate on what happened for the young woman to lose her life, but it was obviously very tragic, sudden. And, every single one of her photos, like so many memories are gone if they can't get in that phone. And what I was gleaning from sitting at a table in a lobby where I could hear this conversation going, that phone's never getting unlocked because they don't have the code. And it was so heartbreaking. Like these parents, I could tell that they had tried a lot of other ways and they were just looking for a lifeline. But I was just thinking, like, there's a 4-digit code that just exists out there that would provide them an enormous amount of peace, maybe, but also just memory. And they can't get to it. And my recollection was if you try too many different codes, then it becomes a paperweight or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, the first part of the book where you are actually filling it out is devices. So, like, your computers, your phones, and then you get into the accounts. So I had a friend, his dad passed away more suddenly than they expected, and his family just had such a hard time getting through his computers, his memories, his bills, like everything. And so that was one of the other inspirations, is like, I want to cover everything that someone has to deal with. You don't want to think. You want to have very clear instructions. You want it to be laid out in front of you. And then those people that inherit all your stuff or get all your accounts, they'll also have the benefit of the first third of the book that teaches them how to protect themselves.
And I would think, too, that in many families, like in my personal family, I do the money stuff. My husband has an idea of what's going on, but he doesn't do that. He does other things. He does all the school stuff. He's a teacher. I don't know what's going on over there. Are my kids in detention? Are they getting good grades? Do I have the same 4 kids at the end of the night? Those are pretty much my check. But if I were to go, I mean, I think he knows the password to my MacBook here, so he could get into my email account, and my passwords are all saved in there. But if he couldn't, if something got locked out or whatever, I don't know what he would do. Shame
you
on me.
probably shouldn't have said that on the air, that your passwords are all on your email account.
Well, I was lying.
They're definitely not. They won't be by the end of tonight.
Yeah.
Anyone listening? But yeah, same. My wife knows to look in the book.
Yeah,
it's in our safe, and she knows to go through the steps, and she doesn't have to worry about it or think about it. And it's no source of extra stress.
When I say my passwords are on my email account, I mean they're like I don't have them listed.
Right.
But everybody saves passwords. Should we not be saving passwords?
We'll do it in the book, and then lock it up. You should not have your password saved digitally. They should be written down.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the value of writing them down. Is it a danger to have them saved digitally also for convenience?
It's the same. It's the trade-off again. Convenience for security.
You're risking security.
Yeah.
When you have them saved.
Yes.
Just for the simple purpose of if you got access to pretty much everybody out there who uses a Gmail account and saves all their passwords to their Gmail account, it's a pretty common practice.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, encryption is so good these days. No one's going to backdoor your passwords. They're going to call you and get access to your Gmail through a series of conversations and have you log into Gmail.
Okay, I'm going to change. We got a break. I got to change up my passwords. Got to do it right now. I'm going to change them all to Modern Inheritance 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
The I in inheritance is going to be an exclamation.
That's the same as code of my luggage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chris, it's an honor to have you in here. And this is so important. It's not something that people think about. And I think a lot of folks out there are thinking about it right now. And it's moderninheritance.com, or just search it up on Amazon. Thanks for being in here. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Take care. We'll talk to you again and follow up after I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to do it all soon because I feel very inadequately prepared, and I will follow up with you, Chris, after I do. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the YouTube live chat poll. What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? That's a fun one. We're learning more about the Walls family. What about yours? We'll be right back.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, you find them online right now at igotfloored.com. And if you were looking to install flooring in your home, you want to make sure that your shopping process, that it ends up making, you got to go by Michael's before you make a decision on where to buy that flooring. They are experts at it. So when you are looking for carpet, if you're looking for a specific brand, if that Mohawk Smart Strand brand is the one you've been seeking out, they've got it at Michael's. It's a very high quality, and you are going to get a great value for it. So check out any of their 3 locations across the St. Louis area in St. Charles County, in West County. They're also located in Darden Prairie. And let them know that the Annie Fry Show sent you. If you're looking for hardwood floors, they have a bunch of different options, different technologies. Whatever you need, they're going to be able to walk you through what is best for you so that you achieve the look that you desire. You can find out all the details online at igotfloored.com.
Problem getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com. Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brasati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
Today's Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll: what percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? If it's 0 all the way up to 100, we have you covered regardless. You just check it out by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and the poll will come up. Leave us a comment. 148. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Trump debates Harris this Tuesday. Listen live as these two candidates meet for the first time ever, and maybe the only time.
Democracy 2024.
Trump versus Harris. Tuesday night, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I'm in Toronto and I got this view, but I might as well be in a hotel room. Yeah, it doesn't matter 'cause I'm so consumed, spending all my nights reading texts from you. Oh, I'm good at keeping my distance. I know that you're the feeling I'm missing. You know that I hate to admit it, but everything means nothing if I can't have you. I can't write one
This
song
is the
that's
Annie
not
Fry
about
Show.
you. Can't
So
drink
if you think about how prepared you are before reading that Modern Inheritance book by Chris, like on a scale of 0 to 10, how prepared are you right now?
Well, my wife knows a lot of my passwords because I try to use the same, not maybe not the same password, but like the same core that I just kind of keep changing things close to it. So I would hope she'd be able to figure out how to get into most of my stuff based on that, but not everything. It would not be easy still. So I tell you what, the second half of talking to Chris, they're talking about the safety stuff in the beginning was interesting, but then hearing, because he left us books here, we were holding them up to the camera there, Modern Inheritance. I was like, by the end of that, I'm like, I actually need that book, and I would imagine that most people listening realize that they need this book because it's got a bunch of pages. It kind of walks you through how to leave the information that your family would need about your digital stuff in it. So it's just an easier way for you to do that.
The thing to me that kind of really shifted my thought, and I would say I'm probably a 2 or a 3 in preparedness.
Yeah, you never said how prepared you are.
On a scale of 1 to 3?
1 to 10.
Go on, Brad.
1 to 10?
I said 0 to
Go
10.
quickly.
I'll say 5.
5. Yeah, I think that I'm less prepared than Ryan is then because I think I'm a 2 or a 3. But like the thing that really shifted my attention was the title of the book, which is Modern Inheritance, and your story about that girl with the iPhone. I have never thought of any of my stuff as inheritance to be passed on. None of my digital, none of my social stuff, none of that. But one of the things we talked about in a class that I took in college was we're going to get to a point where your digital footprint is going to be how your families remember you, and technology will probably exist
I
to a
don't think
point.
we're getting to a point. We're there.
And
right?
Well, I think we're there, but he was talking about, our professor was talking about how technology will exist where your ancestors will be able to access a file and talk to a AI digital version of you.
Man, mine's
based
going
on
to be
the-
so mouthy.
Ours is gonna,
Great grandma seems angry.
well, based on the era that we have a lot of recordings of us, we're going to respond about Donald Trump a lot. Like, no, that was.
Tell me how to make great grandma's apple pie.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was a great man. That's not even something. That's probably something my AI thing would say. I'd put myself right around a 0. Because I take care of so much of the stuff, and I'm relying on I think there are people who know how to get into my phone. They know
That's really important.
it's huge. They know how to get my phone. My husband has access to probably everything that I have access to on digitally. We don't really. He could get into my email, no problem. I can get into his email, no problem. To my knowledge, we don't really check each other's emails. That's not really who he is at all. But I have a lot of work to do. And since I was going to buy the book, I'm going to buy the book for somebody else. I think it's a great gift.
That's what we were just talking about. It's
If
a good Christmas gift.
Yeah, if you were to be looking for a gift, it's a great price. And to be able to give it to someone, and he said it's boomer proof.
I mean, it's a book, so you'd hope, everybody knows how to do that.
Literally at the end, it's got, when it's talking to you about, it's a workbook. So it's not like it's something that is just, process after process after process. It's literally the thing you're going to put, like you said, in your fireproof safe. that is going to be used by those. And I'm thinking about, I've heard stories of people who've become widows or widowers, and it's such a struggle. And I mean, everything hurts so much as it is, but then you're trying to do like common basic things. And when you can't do them and they did it, that makes the hurt exponentially worse. So the book's Modern Inheritance. And Chris is one of our chat members, which is so cool. Like, the reason we're connected with him is simply because he's one of the people who was here in the chat, and he just happened to have this expertise, write this book, and it's great to have him in here.
Is there a name for the people in the chat anymore?
I mean, they have called themselves fannies in the past, and I questioned that, and they liked it, and so it's fannies with 2 E's. I don't know. It could be the fanny pack.
I like fanny pack. Was there a time where they were kicking around the Friars?
I hope not.
Because there was a time when they were the fannies, and then, oh wait, do we need to reassess this?
Do they need a name?
I think so. Yeah, just like a celebrity couple. You know, everybody in the chat is kind of one big celebrity couple.
I think as soon as your celebrity couple gets a name, it's
you're
not for
toast.
long.
Yeah.
The YouTube live chat poll: what percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? I have responses from 2 people in my family right now. We'll talk about it in the next hour. And they've given me the percentages they think of our family that would vote for me. And I'd ask you guys to reach out to some people. Did you get any responses?
Not yet.
I got one response.
Okay, so we'll talk about that later. Rick says on YouTube, only about a fourth of my extended family is nuts. Those are the ones who'd vote for me. Rick is looking at 25%. HW said, my extended family is very small, 11 of us, so I think 75 to 100% would vote for me. We've got these broken down in 25% increments. Other than my sister, extremely liberal, but I love her, who would probably not, but that's okay. KD said 50 to 74%. I have quite a bit of lefties in my extended family. Gary said 99%. Actually, I'll be running for trustee in Maryville this year. If you live in Maryville, go vote. There you go. I would vote for Gary. Dirk said 100%. I'm magnetic. I don't react to things, I respond. I'd push to reduce taxes on donuts, but make up for it by increasing taxes on bagels.
I'm not voting for him.
I'm voting for him twice. I live in Illinois. Kurt says, even though none of my family are in their right minds, they would get this one right. Hell no.
It's much more personal with some people.
You know, the thing about this is, and a present company excluded, you would really be much more likely to vote for your family member if you didn't agree on everything. If you like your family member, you probably wouldn't know every single policy issue that your family member has, unlike my family. And yours as well. Give your comments to us on the Annie-Fry YouTube channel and come vote. We'll be right back.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Save on your grocery bill when you go to Ruler Foods just by shopping there. Prices are lower. Who can't afford right now to save on their groceries? Because the prices are lower just basically as a rule at Ruler Foods. They have red and white seedless grapes right now, $1.47 a pound, 6-ounce raspberries or blueberries, delicious. We get them in our house, plus the blueberries, huge staple in our home, $1.97 a pound. Heritage Farm boneless, skinless chicken breasts, another staple in our freezer, $2.49 a pound, and cheese. boy, does my family like to go through some cheese. 8-ounce Kroger shredded or bar cheese, 2 for $4. Jack's Pizzas also right now 2 for $7. The very best thing to put in the oven. And then when you have a 14-year-old son, you've got to get one for him and one for everybody else. Good thing they are affordable at Ruler Foods. If you're looking for delivery, you can get that done at Ruler as well. Learn everything you need to know, the latest sales, where to go find your Ruler Foods, how to get delivery, rulerfoods.com.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right. Enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Justice Department says not so fast. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Federal prosecutors said to be objecting to a surprise from Hunter Biden after an attorney for the president's son said he wants to change his not guilty plea in a tax evasion case, just as jury selection was about to begin in California.
It was Abby Lowell who dropped that bombshell in court, saying he was changing his plea to guilty, but it was this Alford plea, whereby the defendant, in this case Hunter Biden, of course, accepts that the prosecution could prove on the basis of evidence that he was guilty of these crimes, but he, the defendant Hunter Biden, maintains his innocence.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in L.A. A court hearing is set to resume shortly. The judge has already said the court doesn't need the government's agreement to accept an Alford plea. An attorney for former President Trump entering a not guilty plea for him today in a federal election interference case. Still no trial date yet after a Supreme Court ruling on immunity and a revised indictment. The former president covering a lot of ground, including taxes, housing, childcare, and sanctions during a speech at the Economic Club of New York, also taking questions.
Former President Trump reminded the audience of his tax cuts from his first term and said he'd extend them. He said for every regulation they add, they'll cut 10, but the big focus, he said, would be on energy.
I am promising low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, secure borders.
During the Q&A portion, he said he only wanted to use sanctions against bad actor countries briefly because of its impact on the dollar.
If we lost the dollar as the world currency, I think that would be the equivalent of losing a war. That would make us a third world country.
Adding that if a country threatens not to use the dollar, he threatens to use tariffs against them.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The Harris campaign has slammed at Trump's agenda as a job killer and costly to the middle class. Harris is now in Pennsylvania, where they will debate next week. America is listening to Fox News.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We should top out close to 90 degrees going through our afternoon. Lots of sunshine, partly cloudy, 80s for evening plans, 68 for the low. Shot of a spot thunderstorm towards morning. That's our next cool front. Friday, a breezy from the northwest, 81 degrees. Saturday, sunny and 74. Sunday, sunny and 77, 55 at night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Gain peace of mind that flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
The Diamond Shop, you find them online at thediamondshop.net. You are going to want to swing by their store because they have a fantastic sale going on right now. There's a clearance event, up to 70% off. Beautiful pieces at the Diamond Shop. So go in, tell them hi, tell them Annie sent you, and you said, I heard something about a clearance sale. And when you go in, you're going to be able to see so many beautiful pieces for yourself, for your loved one, really going to make somebody's day. And why not save up to 70% off on this clearance sale while it lasts at the Diamond Shop? They're located in Clayton. They're online at thediamondshop.net. You can become a VIP online and have the opportunity to save in certain circumstances when you are a VIP, and it's incredibly simple to sign up for. So just go to thediamondshop.net, scroll to the bottom of the page, and fill out that form. It's very quick. You're VIP. If you're interested in the annual clearance sale, up to 70% off, learn more online at thediamondshop.net.
Nachos! Hey, I'll take some. And some Frank's Red Hot. Nah. You're just gonna eat these boring nachos with no flavor. Frank it up! Frank it up! This guy finally gets it.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
The Mark Cox Morning Show is live in Eureka this Wednesday in support of the Focus Marines Foundation. Go to 971talk.com/events to find out more. We're looking forward to seeing you at Chicken Ellie's in Eureka this Wednesday, live with the Mark Cox Morning Show.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We've got a fun YouTube. Fun? Is this fun? Is this a fun poll?
Yeah, it's zany.
What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? We've got 4 percentage breakdowns so that you can figure out where you fit in there. If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, cast your vote, leave us a comment, and tell us what you think. Joe says 99% would vote for me. I'm a freaking sweetheart, but only 99% because every family has some crazy. I would like to know, Joe, who's the 1%? Fox News reported yesterday. Let me make sure I have the most current one here. Yeah, I'm going to go to this one. Tim Walz family members pose in T-shirts declaring their presidential preference. Walz is for Trump. An image circulating online shows family members of vice presidential candidate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz openly supporting former President Trump. The photo was shared online by former Nebraska Republican gubernatorial candidate Charles Herbster. That's a great name. It shows 8 people wearing Nebraska Walz's for Trump T-shirts. And it's the Fox News report says Walz's WALZ''S, and then it says sick, which means they're correcting the grammar. That means the incorrect grammar is on them, not Fox News. Tim Walz's family back in Nebraska wants you to know something, and then they show this picture with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that are wearing these Walz's for Trump. A representative for Herbster told Fox News Digital that the people in the photo are related to Walz through his grandfather's brother, Francis Walz. Francis. Fox News Digital has reached out to the Trump and Harris campaigns. Family members told Fox News they consider themselves distant from Walz and have never met or spoken with him.
Oh, really? Well, that's almost better.
One person in the photo who wished to remain anonymous. What? That's an interesting sentence. One person in the photo who wishes to remain anonymous.
Is he wearing a COVID mask?
Said they are... No, he's in the Walz for Trump photo.
I mean, like, is he trying to... I'm in the photo, but you can't tell who I am.
Said they're supporting Trump because, quote, he supports our values. So last night, and I'm going to get to this point, last night at the Trump town hall on Fox News, Donald Trump referred to the...
His brother endorsed me.
I saw it.
And his whole family. I saw the picture. And honestly, it was a very nice looking family. But his brother endorsed me and the whole family endorsed me. I said, who are all the people? There's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy.
So it's kind of a wild ride on that quote. But this photo has been going around, and the reason why I wanted to cover this is because they are part of Tim Walz's family. They don't support Tim Walz. They're not Tim Walz's immediate family.
Yeah.
The New York Post talked about this quote from Donald Trump at the Hannity town hall last night, and quotes Trump saying, his brother endorsed me, and his whole family endorsed me. Just like a little bit more than the truth. Trump, who often speaks in hyperbole, added, I saw the picture, and honestly, it was a very nice-looking family. Honestly. Jeff Walz, however, this is according to the New York Post, has previously said he has no intention of endorsing Trump despite publicly blasting his brother. The Republican nominee was referencing a photo that went viral on social media, purportedly showing 8 relatives of Tim Walz posting in front of a Trump 2024 Take America Back flag. So, separately, the Minnesota governor's older brother, 67-year-old Jeff Walz, caused a stir on social media when he declared on August 30th on Facebook that he is 100% opposed to his brother's, quote, ideology. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future, Jeff Walz added. He also indicated that he's, quote, thought long and hard, end quote, about endorsing Trump, but is torn between that and just keeping my family out. I think your family's in it now, buddy.
Yeah.
Aside from a, quote, 2-minute conversation, end quote, during the vice presidential vetting process, Jeff Walz hasn't spoken to his brother since 2016. What happened then? He said it in a recent interview with News Nation. In that interview, Jeff Walz indicated that he has no intention of campaigning with the former president or endorsing him. There's going to be no further statements to anybody, and we're not campaigning or anything for him or against him or anything like that. So that's that. I don't think that Donald Trump has the actual endorsement of Jeff Walz, but Tim Walz's older brother does not like Tim Walz.
Yeah.
Is it Mary Trump?
Yep.
Mary Trump can't stand Donald Trump. And that is his sister? No.
I can't remember.
Niece?
That sounds right, but I don't remember.
Regardless, I think it's a more distant relationship than brother, as if that matters at all. But, I'm thinking about what's the Disney sister?
It's niece, yeah.
Mary's the niece. And she's publicly does not like Donald Trump at all. And she could go on any one of those media networks tonight and trash on Donald Trump, and they would just lap it up the whole time because Mary Trump, his own family niece, doesn't like Donald Trump. Does that affect me? No. If I needed to have another hit of TDS, then maybe it would make me feel better and watch to get that extra hit. I'm amused by this Walz story, but I think the truth of the matter is I know that Joe just said that he is a sweetheart and 99% of his family is going to vote for him should he run for federal office. I think it's actually pretty normal that your family is pretty divided, which is kind of why this is also stressful.
I'm sure it's true, which is why we're talking about it with the poll today. But the Mary Trump thing has always surprised me a little bit because she has really used that last name to get a lot of media. I think she wrote a book, and she froths with hatred for him. Now, you could maybe say that Jeff Walz is also in that category. He doesn't sound like he likes his brother very much, but that sounds like it's very personal. He mentions ideology. I understand. So they probably disagree politically also. But the picture of the Walzes for Trump, that's just funny. I mean, it's like you said, they're distant family. They're probably making
Nebraska too. It's not like they're in Minnesota.
They're probably getting together and they're all like, we're conservatives, right? Let's do something funny. I don't get the sense that they hate Tim Walz. That sounds like they don't even really know him, which is why that story makes me laugh. The Mary Trump thing concerns me.
For her?
Like she's going to be at a family gathering and things aren't going to go well. She's going to throw some punches.
Do you have thoughts?
I sit here and I think, and I'm like, man, what we're finding out is that people have different thoughts and opinions, and family doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to agree on thoughts and opinions. To me, it's a shame that you have family members going out there and in Mary Trump's case, I don't know about Tim Walz's brother. Maybe it'll get to that point, like Ryan was saying. I think it's a shame whenever you make money off of your disagreements with your family members. I think that's something that can be handled internally, or, you can just be estranged and that be that. But I like the whole dunking on somebody because their family members don't support them for office or don't share the same political views as them. I think that's just really normal to have family members that don't agree politically. And I don't know that it's like this big world-ending, aha, gotcha thing.
It's always been the case. Families have always disagreed on politics. Now, though, you're supposed to draw a line. And the line is where Donald Trump is. And that's a line that family often is not willing to cross. It's a bridge too far. And if you are on the wrong side of supporting Trump, then there are, I bet you, definitely a majority of family, but I'd almost say every family knows who the Trump supporter is in the family, like the big Trump supporter, and that there are people in that family who avoid that person just because of that reason. Now, I am probably that person in my family, but I am by far not the biggest Trump supporter in my family. I am going to vote for him. I think that he is clearly the best for our economic future, for our future security nationally here on the home front, and also from a foreign threats and conflicts standpoint. I think that he's best for protecting the country that I love and want to see grow for my children and their children in the future. I think that Donald Trump will absolutely put us on the correct path to grow, to keep America a great nation. I don't worship Donald Trump. I don't think Donald Trump is anywhere near perfect. I think he's an incredibly flawed individual. I think he knows he's a flawed individual. I think that he has also been a very successful person. And what I need from Donald Trump in my life is what he can do as the president of the United States for this country to give it back to the people. That's it. And I really believe that those people within families, that it is black and white. It is either or. You either have an affinity and affection for Donald Trump and therefore you worship him, or you don't. There's no parsing any of it. There's no understanding that I support them as a political person and I think that they would be the best for the future of the country without having to lavish them with some sort of strange worship and praise that I say for my Christian faith. Like, I don't feel like I've ever prioritized him in my life in any way, shape, or form like that. But even last night, I wanted to talk about this too. We talked yesterday about the Fox News town hall with Sean Hannity. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a freaking question from the audience to Donald Trump last night. Sean Hannity repeatedly made points that he asked Donald Trump to agree with last night, And I cleared my freaking schedule and stayed downstairs in the basement by myself so that I could listen to this town hall and be prepared. And they didn't do it. And I had to listen. I cleared my schedule to watch a Hannity show where he talks to Donald Trump, where he fights the fight for Donald Trump and then just waits. Like, Donald Trump interrupted him multiple times because he was trying to make a point and it wasn't the one Hannity was making. And you got this whole room full of people. They go to the last break and they say, we're going to come back. We're going to ask some questions. Stick around. And I'm like, I looked at my watch. I'm like, there are 10 minutes left of this show with a break. What are we doing? And then they came back and then they talk some more and they go, we're going to take our first question and that town hall is going to air tomorrow night. And I'm like, so I'm supposed, like, bill it for what it is. Sean Hannity, exclusive hour with Donald Trump. Supposed to be a debate last night. That's why this was key. Fox News offered up a debate and Harris didn't show up to it. She said she wasn't going to participate. So they had Trump. He kept the date. It's got to be about the people. It can't be about Sean Hannity. And I love what Sean Hannity has done for conservative talk radio. I love what he has done for the conservative movement, but it can't be about Sean Hannity. I regret saying this on the air, but it's true. I was mad about that last night. And I tweeted out, all I said last night on Twitter was, this was billed as a town hall, not a single question asked. Big missed opportunity or something like that. And this is what ticks me off. And this is why I want to talk about the other side of the Trump supporters. Is because I had multiple people coming at me, being like swearing at me, telling me to get off my high horse because Donald Trump has done more interviews than anybody. And Donald Trump showed up and Harris didn't. Like, attacking me because I wasn't stroking Donald Trump enough on Twitter. I wasn't even criticizing him. My tweet didn't say anything about Trump. But this is the side of Trump support that is nutso. You look cray-cray. You gotta stop. You don't need to defend Trump when Trump is not being attacked. And if every time you turn, you feel like you gotta have your dukes up because you gotta defend, I am on your team. I'm voting for the guy. I think it's great that he was there. I wish that Fox News would have, as it said on the bottom down there, town hall, allowed the town to ask some questions because they're in Pennsylvania. And if you got 2 nights, let them ask questions for 2 nights. Or just simply tell us it's a Sean Hannity interview. Am I wrong to be miffed by this? It extra aggravated me that people were attacked. And I don't really care about getting attacked on Twitter. It's a daily occurrence for me. But it was annoying that the people who are, theoretically on my political side in this, they're so chafed and agitated that they want to come smack me around. And I'm like, what are you doing? You look like an idiot. You sound like an idiot. You read like an idiot.
So let me ask this because I don't know the answer. Are they coming back tonight now with a taped version of what they already did?
I think that they made everybody stay in their seats.
So it's just live again.
Yes. I think
People
so.
looking real tired, but it's going to be live.
Can I ask a question? I'd like to go home. Can I go home?
No.
No.
Sean says no.
He said on the air, we're going to start taking questions, and that's going to air tomorrow night. The only thing, and I would like to know this, did something get messed up? Was there a technology issue where the microphones weren't going to work in order to adequately facilitate the question asking? Because the whole time,
I doubt it, but
but
it does happen.
Sometimes something happens, and for a particular reason that isn't forward-facing, you just got to make do. And maybe that happened, and if so, I apologize. But don't say it's a town hall.
And usually if that does happen, you're going to address it at least once. Even if you're trying to play it down, you might say at some point, hey, you know what? We really wanted to do questions. We're having a couple mic issues. We'll get there eventually, or something like that. But it sounds like they didn't do that. But if they're coming back tonight and they are going to do questions, I don't know. I guess the false advertisement of it would be that you didn't do a town hall last night. But as long as you come back and you get the town hall in one way or another, which indicates to me that this was probably taped all at one time. So
Yes.
it was a town hall.
I think it was live last night.
It was just they ran out of their time slot to show it. But that's your point.
But I am a viewer. My time slot matters.
Yeah.
If like I literally isolate myself when I feel like it's something I have to watch. Because when my kids are in their home being children and playing, and I keep yelling at them to be like, or chastising them or whatever to be quiet so that I can listen to Donald Trump, bad look, bad form. I spent time with them, sat down and ate dinner with them, played with them. When that came on, I went downstairs and if they want to come downstairs and sit with me and watch, they can do that. But I'm going to move myself out of their space so that they can continue with their evening and not have to constantly be playing second fiddle to some silly election that is always in our home. But for Fox News, like, bait and switch. I watched a whole episode of Hannity last night where Hannity was just saying things that he wanted Trump to agree with, and Trump was saying things that he said a million times before. There was this economic forum that they're having today, there was more coming out of that than this interview last night. The people is what matters. Sean Hannity is not what matters. Donald Trump is not what matters. The people is what matters. I am not what matters. You have to listen to what the people have to say, which is why I said yesterday, town hall, Donald Trump working and talking with real people. This is where he can shine. Sean Hannity.
I'll tell you what, where I would get mad is if I tune in tonight and they go, you know what we're going to do in part 3 is do the part where we take questions. Then you go, all right, Sean, you've had your moment. Yeah, I do like, because I agree with you that the town hall environment is a good one for Trump.
And it was, somebody commented on here, it was like a rally last night. Like, there were, Sean Hannity has to talk about how he, like, came from nothing and I worked all these jobs and blah, blah. Like, okay, we get it. We understand that, Sean Hannity. And someone's like, did you work at McDonald's? And he's like, no, I didn't work at McDonald's. And then Trump's like, well, I heard she didn't work at McDonald's either. And it's just like, I know. I want more. I demand more. Or just honesty so that if it's going to be a Hannity-Trump interview, I play cards with my kids. That's what I'm going to do next time. Well, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Oh, let me scream from the rooftops your benefit when you just learn about the Lutheran schools near you. You do not have to be a Lutheran to go to a Lutheran school. I myself, in the 90s, was going to a Lutheran school, and even back then, lots of different people, different walks of faith, people who didn't really have a particular one, went to these Lutheran schools because the parents understood the advantage of a great Lutheran school education. LESASTL.org. LESASTL.org/Annie. Go to this website, LisaSTL.org/Annie, and start learning about the 37 elementary schools in the St. Louis metro area, in Illinois, in Missouri, that are still enrolling kids. There's still time. I know maybe they've started one place and you're like, gosh, this is not it. This is not good. There's an alternative out there that is affordable for you. It is accessible. Don't think that you can't access this type of parochial education. Start the conversation. Check out a school near you. Reach out to me on my Annie Fry Show Facebook page if you have questions about Lutheran schools, and I'd be happy to talk to you one-on-one because I believe in it. I am a product of it. I invest in it and send my children to Lutheran schools, Lutheran elementary schools, Lutheran high schools. You have this opportunity in front of you. Make the choice for your child. Make the choice to assist with your grandchild. Go online and learn more. LisaSTL.org/Annie.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. For a limited time, save $55 off a new water heater. Air Comfort Service not only installs attic insulation and HVA systems, they also install water heaters. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk is online, and you can stream it on your phone anytime. Just download the Odyssey app, and 97.1 is one button away. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So, Ryan, just to answer this poll here real quick for you, did you get anybody to respond to you?
No, I was texting around a
Maybe
little bit.
Maybe that's your answer.
And they didn't want to tell me how much they support me.
YouTube live chat poll for today. What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? So we've got the votes rolling in here, and we want to know what you think. Ryan, real quick, what's your answer to this?
I'm right at the quarter mark, so I'm going to have to I was going to say 75% to 100, but now I'm going to say 75% to 50% because I haven't gotten
50
any
to 74%.
Yeah.
You feeling a little less confident?
A little bit than when we started.
Brad?
I did get a message from somebody, and this person thinks that about 80% of their side of the family would vote for me. But the more I think about this, the more I think about experiences I have with my family members, and not necessarily. My family is really big. Both sides, both grandparents had 7 kids. And then those kids had a lot of kids. And then those kids are now having kids.
Some people were asking, like, what's family? And I said extended family. Basically, if you know them and you say they're family, I think that person counts.
Yeah. And so I started looking at this, and we were at a remote at Ruler Foods, and I had one of my family members walk past me. I said hi, and they didn't even recognize me. So yesterday offhand.
Did they not recognize you, or did they ignore you?
Don't know which one it was. But so that got me re-guessing that like 95% that I threw out there flippantly yesterday. So
Isn't it possible that they just didn't know you were sitting there? Like, you said that they didn't pay attention to you, but isn't it possible that they...
No, they looked at me.
So and did not acknowledge you at all.
No, they said hi, but the hi was, hi, random person. Why are you saying hi to me?
This just sounds like there's a little more baked into this interaction.
Are you assuming they blew you off or didn't recognize you?
They didn't recognize me.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with whether they'd vote for you.
Well, yeah, but
do they know your name?
Yeah, but my uncle knows my name, and I'm on this show, and he didn't know it was me.
But that doesn't have anything to do with if they vote for you.
But here's my thing. If I'm running for office, they're not going to vote for me based on name recognition at that point. They're going to vote based on policy, and I don't know what their policy is.
I don't think that's necessarily true, though.
I mean, never been to Europe either.
Wouldn't you vote for some of your family members because they were your family members, even if they were running and maybe didn't align with you politically?
Maybe.
Some of them.
Some of them, and maybe. Yes.
Because of who they are as people.
Yes.
So I think that, Brad, who you are as a person is absolutely a factor along with what your policies would be.
Yeah. But if they don't recognize me, then how do they know who I am as a person? Or if they don't recognize or put that together is what I'm getting at.
He went deep.
I don't understand.
He went deep into this. Yeah. Well, he's saying if they don't recognize him at all, it wouldn't factor enough into the vote.
Yeah.
So then it changes the percentage. He went like 3 layers deep on that.
What do you mean they don't recognize you?
Well, I've got family members that have kids that have had kids and that I haven't met. I know that they're family.
That's not who we're talking about.
Okay. Well, in that case,
like I just said at the beginning, if you know who they are and would refer to them as family.
And I would.
But they don't know him.
But they don't.
I'm talking about them. I'm talking about the people who you know.
This is great. I love this. This is fantastic.
So anyway,
this is supposed to be Ryan's role, not yours.
That's why I'm enjoying it.
I can't handle it when I'm looking to my left and not my right.
So I rolled it
it's
back.
Like 7 minutes of a conversation. Way to burn a segment.
We can't get this back. You know what, St. Louis, we sincerely apologize for what we've done to your time this afternoon. We respect you more than Brad.
Okay.
How does it feel to be on the other side of that, Ryan?
So,
jeez.
You should define for us, when you're saying extended family, what it means to you.
Okay. I'm going to just go, extended family to me means it'll go out to my cousins. So aunts and uncles,
Do
cousins,
they know who you are?
Most of them.
They do now. He's sending out Christmas cards this year to gain some votes.
Do. He said his uncle didn't know he was on the show, but he listens all the time. And his other family member walked by and casually waved at a stranger who was also Brad while we were there. So I don't understand this.
My family's large, and they are extended and like in areas that we don't get to all the time. Especially since my grandparents have passed away, we don't have the big family get-togethers anymore. So I'm going to say 75% would vote yes.
Send out some Christmas cards. Run for city council.
Glad we got to the bottom of that one.
See how it goes.
I asked my husband, and I asked one of my parents, who are the people who would know the most. And, they were both like, is it just our side of the family, or is it everybody? I'm like, everybody. Like, everybody.
Yeah.
And because I said yesterday when we talked about this, what percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? I wasn't sure that it was 50%.
Okay.
Remember? And I think I settled on 51% so I could feel a little bit better about myself, that it would be a majority of my family, but like a fake one. My parent said to me, well, I don't know. It's probably 50-50. It's like, thanks, parent. But that's true. That's exactly what I had said. So that's a very honest assessment. Okay. And my husband very generously said he thought about 65%. And I think he included his whole family and my whole family. And, you know, it's funny. Like, I know for a fact people in my family who I think would politically, and I'm talking broad family, who would have politically aligned opposite of me, who would have still supported me, but definitely people who don't either. And, you know, it's the point of this is I don't know how many people who are answering this question are thinking that deeply about the people in their family. I don't think that anybody out there is really batting 1,000 on this question.
No, I don't think so either. You'd have to come from a bubble to have that kind of a family. Like, you'd have to be in an area where you knew all of your extended family. They were all very close, and you thought the same. And that could happen in a lot of different places. That could happen like in a very rural area. That could happen in the middle of downtown New York, you know? So it could go either way.
I really think that it's not, you know, we talked about Mary Trump. Of course, the Walls family is out there right now saying they're going to support Trump. Mary Trump hates Trump, whatever. It's political fodder. If it comes up in a campaign season, it's not going to be talked about. But when people will be like, oh my gosh, did you see that picture of all of Tim Walz's family members that are supporting the other guy? And most people don't run for office. And if most people did, I think the follow-up question is, would you have people in your family who would take a picture in a shirt for the other guy and post it on social media? I think I have those people in my family.
Man, I don't know. I think it would have to be the level of Walzes that don't know Tim. So some portion of my family that maybe I've met once that lives on the West Coast that I don't know that well, that could happen. But there's another, I mean, if you want to really get technical, there's another angle for this.
Bring it on.
What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? If I ran not as a third party, but as like a fifth party, as like a Cornel West, I'm thinking the percent of vote that I would get even from my own family would be down in the zeros.
Goes down.
Yeah. So we're assuming you're a major candidate. If you're a third party candidate, it's going to go even lower.
It's got to be for national office, federal office.
Yeah.
Because if it's the reason why I said that is because if it's state, you'd be like, well, most of my family lives in Arkansas. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So federal office for king or queen of the United States of America.
Okay.
Who's voting for you? Let us know what you think. I'll be curious to see how much of our audience feels they have strong support among their family members. It might be a little humbling to go through this process and then make it understand that after we get the results here that we can understand that everybody has complicated family situations, and it's actually probably more normal to have it and to acknowledge it, and then to realize that you should love your family anyway. I would hope to be treated that way in my family. I think most people would hope to be treated that way as well. So let's take a quick break. We'll get the results when we come back. And I got a story here I'm going to pose to you guys. Wedding guests can leave early on one condition, according to an etiquette expert. What is that one condition? Ryan's thoughts are brewing. I'll give you the answer when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Air Comfort Service, they find them online at aircomfortservice.com. Make sure that you have them in your phone, 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. For any HVAC issues that you would have arise be it in the hot summer temperatures, which we're probably still going to deal with a little bit here before fall officially sets in, or if you're starting to think about those cooler temperatures setting in, is your furnace in good working order? Air Comfort Service will walk you through the whole process of getting a tune-up. You can sign up for monthly maintenance plans as well that are affordable, so you don't have to think those thoughts. Nobody's thinking about their HVAC system until it's not working and your comfort zone is not there in your house. Then who do you call? Well, the answer is Air Comfort Service. And you put this number into your phone right now to make sure that it's there later on when you need it. If you need to call about a furnace issue for a loved one who may not know how to set up that stuff themselves, or you got to help them along with it, this number in your phone, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
A lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Upgrade your family vacation with an unforgettable escape to the Palm Beaches. From outdoor adventures and laid-back beaches to thrilling family attractions and animal encounters, the Palm Beaches have something for everyone. Discover premier resorts with creative kids clubs that will keep the little ones entertained while you enjoy world-class golf and spas. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
When you withdraw money from your IRA or 401k in retirement, you could trigger an avalanche of taxes. Learn how you could avoid this with your retirement professors. Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK, 97.1 FM Talk.
What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? Anywhere from 0 to 100%, we have you covered. You got to vote, though, in the Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll. We'll give you the results in just a couple minutes. 2:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon on a Wednesday afternoon, getting set to go here after Fox News at 3. Unfortunately, we have to start with some somber topics. There was a school shooting outside of Atlanta today, and there are 4 deaths reported, numerous injuries. We'll have the very latest on that. Unfortunately, it seems we have way too many of these on my show, but it's all coming up. Hang in there.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're going to get the results to today's YouTube live chat poll. What percentage of your extended family would vote for you if you ran for federal office? Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and leave a vote there and tell us what you think about how much support you have from your family, and we will get to the results here. Before we wrap up the show, Jennifer commented, I voted 50 to 74%, but most of my supporters would be from my husband's family. I'm going to tell you what. I think I would have more support from my husband's family.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the other ones are a little too close to the sun, you know what I mean?
I do.
They've known you forever.
Yeah.
Well.
Go ahead.
No.
I give you permission.
It's not yours to give. Josh Watts says Wiggins for governor of Illinois. What would your first act be as governor?
Soda in all the drinking fountains. Then universal health care. Then bankruptcy.
Are you just making predictions or commitments?
No.
Or
both.
both?
Here's the thing. I'm conservative, but I know what it takes to win Illinois. So I'm going to
Debt?
Debt, promises. But then I'm also going to be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
We're going to be bankrupt.
Okay, we are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we are. That's true. I guess you don't really need my help.
No. Good thing COVID happened to balance out those budgets. All that federal money that saved Illinois' tush.
Yeah. And you know what?
Made them think that all this stuff was a good idea.
The other thing I would throw out there is to say, look, we know that what the path that we're on, especially fiscally, but really in any way, is unsustainable. I'm honest with you. My opponent is not. I am not going to slow down that spending. We are going to borrow that money. We are going to borrow it from China.
I thought you were saying Missouri, but go on.
No. We're going to take as much money from China as we can before their economy collapses.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are going to ride that for at least one generation.
Okay.
Beyond that, your kids are going to pay all of those bills.
Be screwed.
And they are not going to want to live in this state. But we got a little time.
Dale says, I'm pretty lucky. What family and extended family is left? All agree on ideology, so 99%. Doesn't that seem like like they took care of the ones that don't agree? What family and extended family is left? All agree.
Yeah. If you didn't, you're not around anymore.
Okay.
The Stewart family takes care of its own.
That's hardcore, Dale. Wow.
Dale, you from Illinois?
North. All right. Weddings. 30 seconds real quick, Ryan. What's the best setup? You get an invitation to a wedding. What is the schedule events that you want to see most?
The wedding is way more important than they give it credit for. Like, it usually breeze right through the wedding itself. I want to see a little bit of a ceremony.
A worship.
Go for it. Yeah, especially if you can do a worship service out of it. So do that. Then take your pictures and do all the stuff as you can. Do what you need to do. But realize that your guests are going to the reception if it's not right there in the church, which usually it's not anymore. And make sure that there is food available for your guests.
Mm-hmm. And a little entertainment, maybe.
A little entertainment would be great, but just make sure there's food because usually it's at a time of day when you're going toward dinner and your guests are just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
Have something. You don't have to have the full dinner, but have something. Appetizers are perfect.
Yeah.
Then dinner, you take a little time. Don't take forever.
When do you want it to wrap up?
Oh, I don't have a hard deadline. I would say 10 o'clock, but you can go later.
Mm-hmm.
I want the option to go
The commitment to be over by
10 o'clock.
Brad?
So I'm with Ryan on the ceremony. I'd like to see a nice ceremony, but I want a good party afterwards. I want to have fun afterwards. So I like the idea. Annie, you talked about you guys did line dancing stuff?
We did not see each other before the wedding. So we had, 1:30 or 2 o'clock wedding. And then we did take pictures and stuff in between. And while the bridal party went to get pictures, we opened up the reception hall at the Meridian Ballroom at SIUE and had a DJ there, appetizers, beer, and a line dancing instructor.
Okay, so that sounds like a good time.
Everybody said it was the highlight of the thing, and we weren't there.
I mean, I don't know how many line dances I'm going to try to learn, but I'm going to have a blast watching a bunch of people learn how to line dance. Entertain me in between.
They had the whole dance floor was full of everybody.
Well, that's awesome.
So by the time we got there, party was full on.
That's great.
Yeah. And then dinner, and then whenever you're done having fun, you say goodbye to the bride and groom, or the bride and groom are gone, you go home.
Wedding guests sought advice on social media after wondering if it was permissible to leave the event early. This is a Reddit post asking other social medias if she could leave an upcoming wedding as early due to a few key factors. She said, my cousin's getting married and the ceremony is at 4. Then there's a cocktail hour and then dinner reception and after party. The individual then added, looks like the ceremony plus reception will be from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's 6 hours. Too long for me. The Redditor said she was in her mid-40s, was going to the family wedding without a +1. The Thursday night wedding is also apparently 60 miles out of town, she wrote, and the guest said she was only planning to attend the wedding out of respect for an aunt and uncle. I'm an introvert and bad at small talk, and my partner, who can't make it because of a back injury, is the life of the party, so I'll be at a bit of a loss. She asked the question, can I respectfully leave at about 8:30 p.m. or even earlier?
It depends. Excuse me. It depends on what they're doing. You can't just leave if they're still in the middle of the stuff.
Well, 4 p.m. is the ceremony.
I would think by
be-
then they'd be close to done.
My opinion is, if you've RSVP'd that you're coming, the reason you RSVP is because they're paying for a plate for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of an etiquette thing that suggests that you should estimate what it cost for your plate, and that's what you should spend on a gift. Some people follow that. Some people don't, whatever. But if there's two of you going and you think they're probably, I don't even know what it would go by these days because I got married so long ago. But if you think they're paying $25 a plate, or if you're going to something fancier and it's more than that, or maybe it's going to be a chicken dinner out of a box and that's fine, maybe less. But if it's $25 a plate, you're buying a $50 gift, $50 a plate, $100 gift, whatever. So if you're going, I think you fulfill the obligation of their investment in you. I don't know that you have any obligation to stay there's no requirement to party enough.
No, I just think it would be weird if you left during the father-daughter dance or something, you know?
Why? They won't know.
No.
They don't
Well,
care.
as long as they don't know, then yeah.
What if they find, are you obligated to, pay respects to the father-daughter dance?
If I find out somebody left during my father-daughter dance, I will hunt you down, and I will demand 2 gifts.
They're not going to come to that and give you gifts.
I'm just trying to picture weddings I've been to.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest to sneak out during those things. And I think it would just be weird.
You don't have to sneak. You can just leave.
Yeah.
I still think it would be weird to just leave, though.
No.
Why?
I don't know, because there's a thing happening. It's there for people to watch, and you're like, I'm out.
It is not there for people to watch.
It is.
It
Why
is
else?
there for the father and the daughter to dance.
It's a ceremony.
It's for them.
That's for
It's
everybody
not,
to be there
It's not for you to watch. It's for them. They're inviting you to be a part of their special
Well, then
moment.
why don't they just do it in their living room?
Because they're inviting you to be part of that special moment,
And
but they're
then
not
you're leaving
doing
during
it
it.
for you.
You're saying that if you leave and you're a relative, but you're not like the mother of the bride, if that's the case, if you're paying for the wedding, you should stay. But you're saying that if you left, that would be lessened. The father-daughter dance would be lessened because rando guest at table number 43 decided it was time to go home?
I don't think they're going to notice one person unless it's during the dance and you get up
If you
and you walk out.
Excuse me, and you walk through the father and the daughter,
Yeah.
you're like, I have to go.
Yeah.
Sorry. If that's the avenue you take,
Then yes.
bad etiquette.
But if we're establishing a rule that anybody can follow and a lot of people leave during that, then yeah, you would notice.
Who cares if they leave? They're not required to stay. It's mandated fun is the worst.
I agree, but if you've committed to the night, I think there are certain things that you're there for.
I think that's the question, though. Have you committed to the night? I think you commit to the ceremony and whatever they're paying for you, which after dinner is over, maybe for the cake. But let's be honest, if all the cake doesn't get eaten, they take it home. They ain't going to be mad about that. That stuff freezes just fine.
Mm-hmm. I still think that if you're one person, nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to get mad about it. But if
you shouldn't rally people,
we establish the rule is, you know what, during father-daughter or whatever it is, during the couples,
if you're doing all of those ceremonial things correctly, though, serve the bridal table first. Eat. Start doing all those things while other people are getting food. And I don't, especially if you're plated and people are being served. But if you're doing a buffet, you can still do the father-daughter dance.
Mm-hmm.
People are not required to stare at you for 3.5 minutes of a song. That's ridiculous. Florida-based etiquette expert Jacqueline Whitmore told Fox News that it's perfectly acceptable for the Reddit user to leave the wedding reception early and that she needs to do one thing before she leaves. The guest should make sure to thank the bride and groom before she exits. So maybe don't do that in the middle of the dance.
That's what I'm saying. You got to say something.
This is the proper etiquette, plus it shows her appreciation for the invitation.
Agreed.
Yeah, well,
I'm all over that.
The YouTube live chat poll. What percentage of your extended family would vote for you? I'm in the 50 to 74% range.
Same.
75%.
Brad is the best of us.
I was 76, I guess.
Okay. 10% of you said 25 to 49%. 17% of you listening out there said 0 to 24% of your family would vote for you. I'm sorry. 32% said 50 to 74%. That's us. So about a third of our audience agrees with our response, or Ryan and my response. And 41% of you said you've got more than 3/4 in your corner. So congratulations to you. I think it's common to have families that think differently. It's American to have families that think differently. Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk next.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Retirement Advisory Group, you know Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw, Thomas Helbig, they are helping you transition into retirement. If you are nearing retirement and you're wondering how long your money will last, then you need to give them a call, 314-993-9494. You connect to the Retirement Advisory Group, and they will help you answer questions like, are you worried about losing your nest egg in the next market correction? They will help you build a personalized, structured income plan that gives you the peace of mind that you deserve. When you call 314-993-9494, they are going to walk you through everything you need to know about how the Retirement Advisory Groups help people exactly like you. Stop wondering if you have enough to retire comfortably. Get the answers that you deserve. Come in for a free retirement review and get a copy of their latest edition of their book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. 314-993-9494. You can find them online right now at retirementkey.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it?